Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's meeting from the Senate Special Committee on Investigations. Members of the committee, good to see everyone here today. And just want to point out, as a reminder for those of you on the committee, turn this volume up. Josh Belinfante is seated to my right. He's the committee's counsel. And before we do get started, I do want to make an announcement that unfortunately Chairman Cowsert is unable to be here this morning. He had a medical procedure late last week, and doctors have restricted his activities and travel during his recovery, and he has requested that I chair this meeting as the vice chairman. So with that, we do have some committee business to take care of before we get week, and doctors have restricted his activities and travel during his recovery, and he has requested that I chair this meeting as the vice chairman. So with that, we do have some committee business to take care of before we get to our agenda for the day with Madam DA Fani Willis. And we do need to review the approval of minutes from our November 13th committee meeting. I'll give the members a minute to review those minutes, and then we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes. We have a motion to approve by Senator Jackson, second by Senator Gooch. All those approved, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, like sign. And the minutes are approved. All right, for those that are in attendance today, just want to kind of go through a couple of guidelines on decorum. I understand there's some, obviously there's media in the room. Press has lines. I think you guys are all clear on where you're allowed to be in the committee room, where you're not allowed to be. So thank you for working with our Senate press staff on that. If there are any available seats in the middle of your aisle, please, or in the middle of your row, please scoot over. We do have overflow in room 125 here in the Capitol building for any of you that want to avail yourself of the overflow room as well. This is a Senate committee hearing. This is not a courtroom. There is no judge in the room. We will adjudicate the meeting today per the Senate rules and Mason's manual. We have the Secretary of the Senate available to advise us if there's any considerations. Governor Barnes, you are here as counsel for DA Willis, is that correct?
I am, but I can assert privilege. I mean, you can't decide privileges that are granted by.
No, I didn't say anything about privilege. I was just referencing that that's the capacity in which you're appearing today.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And just want to kind of maybe cast a net is for those of you that have not been here for any of our committee hearings. This committee is charged with investigating and advising the General Assembly on any changes to Georgia state law as the committee deems necessary as a result of our investigation into the criminal prosecution as it relates to the election interference case of President Trump and the 18 others. We've had a series of meetings and have been working with the District Attorney Willis to appear today. We had a state law that passed, and as my understanding, you were appearing under the second subpoena that was issued, and there is still a Supreme Court case relative to the 2024 subpoena and the General Assembly that issued that, or the Senate that issued that at that time. Great. I referenced signs briefly. It's my understanding that there's some people that have signs in the room. You're obviously welcome to have those. Please just don't hold those up, as you will be blocking views from other members of the committee. We do have a single purpose agenda, and with that in mind, we will go ahead and swear in our witness today. Madam DA, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have a statement I'd like to include in the record.
Sure. If you want to pass that around to us, be happy to make that as part of the record.
And I'm doing that because I was prohibited from giving a statement.
Yeah. So again, this is going to be analogous. I know it's been a while since you've been in the state Senate. You've had an illustrious career since then. As you know, committee testimony is different than courtroom procedures, and there's generally not opening statements in Senate committee testimony.
I've
and
never
that was
known an investigative committee that did not allow opening statements.
We will proceed with the testimony, and if either one of you and Madam DA, is that the preferred title? Is how you'd like to us refer to you?
Either District Attorney Willis or Madam DA.
Perfect. We'll go with either one of those. Thank you for being here today. Please do pull that microphone closer or lean forward when you speak. I'll try to get the volume adjusted so that everyone can hear it.
I doubt anyone will have trouble hearing me.
Fair enough. Just love if you could take a minute, walk us through your career history. I know that you have a 30-year legal history. If you could just tell the committee your path to becoming the district attorney in Fulton County.
Well, I went to the best university in the nation, Howard University, matriculated through there in 3.5 years and graduated December of '92, although I walked in May of 1993. I then came down to Georgia because I was admitted to one of the top 25 law schools in the country, Emory University School of Law. While at Emory University School of Law, for the first time in Emory's history, I won the Frederick Douglass Moot Court Competition, which is a national competition put on by the Black Law Students Association, successfully matriculated through, took the Georgia bar because the Olympics was that year. That was the last year that you could take the bar while still in law school. So during my last semester of law school, I took the bar and passed on the first try. Then became a lawyer. I worked for a small law firm with Alvin Kendall. Alvin Kendall has a great knack for picking talent because at that law firm at the time was myself and the former mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms, who will be a great candidate for governor of this state and is now running for office. Also Teresa Mann, who is a judge in the city of Atlanta court, and another lawyer by the name of Carl Touchtone. We represented people in both criminal and civil cases. I worked there for a small time. I then left that law firm and opened up my own law practice where I practiced both juvenile law, criminal law, did some family stuff. Young practitioner. I did that out of Douglas County, Georgia. But I represented people in the entire metro area during that time. Got married, had 2 children, became a solicitor, needed a kind of a more calm life. So I went to work for Rains Carter, who's been the longest standing solicitor, I think, in the country at this point. Worked for him for some time, applied to become a district attorney, worked there approximately 16 years, tried every type of case you can imagine, but I was really a murder prosecutor. That's what I do best. But also at that time tried the longest case in Georgia's history, which is the Atlanta Public Schools case, a RICO case. That's how I became acquainted with John Floyd because he taught me RICO inside and out and taught me how you can use that to bring criminals to justice, which I've done throughout my career successfully. Worked there, then decided to leave to run for office. Ran for judge, came up 49%, I believe, is the percentage of the vote that I won. Actually went to a Republican strategist. He told me, because I went to a runoff, Republicans will not vote for you. And I said, why? I've had a history of representing this state. I've done so successfully. I'm known as a prosecutor. He said, you're Black and female. I said, I don't believe that to be true. I don't think that's the state of the nation. Who knew? He was right and I was wrong. I lost that election, but that was God's plan. Because after that, I had the honor of representing the Judicial Qualifications Commission. I'm one of the only Black lawyers to ever be able to do that in the state of Georgia, where I prosecuted judges who had done something wrong. And so that was a great honor of mine. Richard Hyde was one of the people that helped me to get that position because he had worked with me on Atlanta Public Schools. I think that he's still doing that kind of work, and it's a very great investigator. So I did that for a while. I also got to represent a lot of fathers and mothers as they went through domestic things, did some criminal defense work, and then people started coming to me. You need to run for district attorney. Current district attorney has some problems. You'd be outstanding at it. And who knew? I ran, I won. I'm the first woman to serve as district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia. Best to ever do it. I sit here with a 92% conviction rate. That's my history.
Excellent. Thank you so much. For those of us on the committee, it'd be helpful to kind of get a scope of what your office structure is like and kind of the makeup of your office. So how many employees are within the Fulton County's DA's office?
A little over 300 approximately. All numbers that I give today, which should be approximations. You should not hold me to exacts.
Certainly will do so on these questions for sure. Of those employees, about how many of those are attorneys?
Half.
About 150 attorneys. How many investigators?
65.
Okay. And how many paralegals?
I don't know, about another 70 or so professionals. Some of that is VWAP, some of that is administrators, some of that is legal assistants. I'm not going to be able to guess at these numbers.
Sure. The state pays a minimum salary for all district attorneys and assistant DAs. Is that correct?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you walk us through the pay structure?
the state pays for my office about 25 ADAs. They're woefully underpaid. The salary that the state paid is a joke right now. If you want to look at some legislation, you should look at paying DAs across this country more money, because they do not make enough money, and it is very hard for people to recruit DAs at the state pay. So for those 20 or so some lawyers that work at state pay, I do one of two things as incentives. The first thing I do is the ones that work in-house, I give them supplements that the county pays, because the pay is so low and really just an embarrassment to think that we pay public servants at that rate. Another incentive I offer to some other very seasoned ADAs that are further along in their career, that are my state paid employees, I let them work 95% remotely, and all they do is indict cases for my office. The rest of the lawyers paid by the Fulton County District Attorney's Office are in fact paid by the county. But you should note here that I am a state employee. I am not a county employee. I represent the Atlanta Judicial Circuit. The Fulton County DA is really slang.
Great. So give me a range then of those ADAs, including the supplement. What's the salary range of
Probably
those
the
ADAs?
lowest salary of any DA that works for me is 85, and the highest might be around 200. Again, don't hold me to exacts.
Sure. Okay. You were elected in 2020. We talked about that. You had a transition process in between the election and when you were sworn in. Can you walk us through what that process looked like?
It was not a very good one. Myself and the former district attorney never had a conversation. We still have never had a conversation. But while I was still on my personal time, not yet being paid by the state of Georgia, I interviewed every attorney and investigator of the office and some of the other staff, because I wanted to decide who I was going to keep and who I was not going to keep. So I did that during that time period. I also had some committee members where I got some advice on things that needed to be priorities for the office as I took office. So I got very esteemed members of the Fulton County and the greater community to kind of advise me. I believe in diversity, so it was a diverse group. If you do studies on diversity, although some of you are against it, you will realize that the companies that do the best employ diversity. And so I employed diversity in that committee, and I've employed diversity in my staff because I represent a diverse community.
Who was a part of that committee?
I don't remember all the names, and I'm not going to guess at it.
What names do you remember?
Oh, my goodness. Lee Dupree's husband, William Dupree, was on that committee. There was another anchor, and I'm embarrassed to say that was an African-American female. I'm not sure. I want to say Mayor Franklin may have been on the committee, but I can't remember exactly. There were about 15 to 20 people. That's been some time ago now.
The interviews that you referenced with the existing staff as you were kind of determining whether they would stay, who participated in those interviews with you?
It would be different people each day. Attorney Gabe Banks was one of the attorneys that did some of the interviews. He wasn't able to do all, of course, because he had an active and thriving law practice at the time. Jeff DeSantis did some of the interviews with me. Daisha Young did some of the interviews with me. People would come in and out based on their schedules. My deputy of operations now, Dexter Bond, did some of those interviews with me. Mr. Nathan Wade had a thriving practice at the time as well. He would come in and out and do some of the interviews. I was at every interview, but other people could only commit, so much of their time. They each did as much as they could. And that should not be the total list. That's what I can recall quickly right offhand. So don't take that as that was every person. I may have missed somebody that assisted me in that, and they'll have to blame it on my head, not my heart.
Okay. Who was a part of the team that made the decisions on who you would keep and who you would go? What was the consultation process after the interview, and how many approximately, if I can ask you this question a second time, if you want to answer the first one, but I'm trying to get to how many people did you retain from the former DA's team, and then how many people were brought in that were new?
I don't remember. I might have fired 50 or 60 people, but I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
The AJC did an article on she fired people, to which I told Fulton County I was going to only bring the best and the brightest. So I was always confused as to why that was a surprise.
Was there a lead on your transition team?
I was the lead. I was the DA.
Okay. Was there another person that you consulted with more than the others?
No.
I believe Mr. Wade said under testimony that he was a part of over 90% of these meetings or decisions. Do you recall that being an approximate accurate statement as to his involvement?
I can't speak to any other person's testimony, so I'm not going to ever comment on someone's testimony. If he testified to such, you're going to need to show it to me. You'll have to forgive me. I don't really trust you. So I'll have to see that particular
you
testimony.
recall Mr.
But I
Wade being-
do.
Wait just a
Do you-
minute. She's got a right to finish her answer. You don't have a right to cut her off.
That's incorrect, Governor. Thank
No,
you.
sir. It is
I'll
not.
be completing answers, so sir. So
Sure.
we should get that straight from the.
Was Mr. Wade part of, would you say, more than half of the interviews that you conducted?
Yes.
Would you say it was more than 75% of the
I'm
interviews
not
you
going to guess at
conducted?
numbers. He was definitely more than half.
And what percentage of decisions, was the same percentage of decisions that he was a part of?
I ultimately made every decision. I take wise counsel from a group of people. So I took wise counsel from him. I took wise counsel from Deputy Bond. Ultimately, I made the decision on who stayed and who went.
Was Mr. Wade paid for this transition work?
None of them were paid. It was all volunteer work. It was wanting to make sure that the region was safe. So people volunteered their time to make sure that we had the best and the brightest representing Fulton County and that this community stayed safe. And every person who did it for free.
Thank you. Part of one of the things you did when you came into office was you formed this new anti-corruption unit. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Can you walk us through the decision process to stand that unit up, if that replaced any other units, and who was a part of that unit once it was stood up?
And I'm actually not sure we called it the anti-corruption unit when we first took over. So when I became the district attorney, Paul Howard had 101 police brutality cases, many that went back to years, maybe to 2009. People in the community were very upset. It was both unfair to the law enforcement officers and to the community that decisions were not made. And so I knew that one of the things that I was going to have to do was to make sure that every case got looked at and was evaluated. And so I was looking for attorneys to do that. I'm not sure if that's what we called it at first, because I think we called it the Civil Rights Unit, in fact. When we first opened it, I think it was the Civil Rights Unit. At some point, I go to visit other huge district attorneys' offices that have kind of the same kind of struggles that I have as a major metro area. I went to visit the Houston District Attorney's office at that time, and in that office they had divided cases, and I thought it was a brilliant way to do business. And so I think that's the point that I then formed a civil rights unit, which would only deal with police brutality, and an anti-corruption unit. So I think when we first started that it was called the Civil Rights Unit.
Okay, how many people were part of that unit once you got it fully operational?
Well, it depends. You know, the county has, in my opinion, stolen people from me, so we can't do the job as effectively as needs to be done. I've had as many as, it varies. It has varied because we had an anti-corruption unit and a civil rights unit. So it's varied.
Can you give us a range?
It really depends on who you're calling the anti-corruption unit. I've probably not had more than 2 lawyers in that unit, maybe 3 at any given time, an investigator or 2, and a legal assistant. They may have been doing double duty somewhere else.
And you entered into a contract with Chris Campbell to do some taint work as a part of that unit. Is that correct?
That would be the civil rights unit.
Well, it sounds like they were somewhat interchangeable from what you just said. You said that it was called
No,
the Civil Rights Unit when it
because-
started.
The civil rights unit may have encompassed everything at first, and then it ultimately becomes police brutality cases. And so what Mr. Campbell was, when the police take a statement, I know you're not an attorney, but there's an issue called garrity. And what happens is government employees, mostly we're talking about law enforcement officers, they will make a statement to the police, but that statement won't be Mirandized. There's all kinds of legal rules around it. I can't be privy to those statements. I shouldn't have them. Sometimes I think the police almost put them in there intentionally. And so they'll be intertwined in statements and reports. And so what he was hired to do is to redact. So once that I got a file from the GBI when somebody had been shot by an officer, I never read that. That way we were never tainted. That's why we use that word, by never seeing that. And so, yes, he was hired. He had been, I believe my recollection is he had been a former law enforcement officer, and he was a lawyer. I thought he was great for that work.
And Terrence Bradley was involved in that work.
He had been a former
well, correct.
probation officer and an attorney. That's one of the reasons that I thought that they would do outstanding at it, because they had long histories in the law enforcement community and lawyers.
Was Mr.
I
Wade,
have lawyers now currently doing that work.
was Mr. Wade involved with the taint work?
No,
Mr. Wade, Bradley, and Campbell were law partners. Is that correct at the time?
loosely is what I understand. I can't tell you about the design of, I can't tell you the design of his firm. I think more so what happened is they shared office space and cost or something, but I don't know. I shouldn't speak to that or speculate to it.
Did you place anyone in charge of the anti-corruption unit, or did everyone that worked there report directly to you?
I mean, ultimately, everyone reports directly to me, but the anti-corruption unit, so when it was a civil rights unit, yes, it had a lawyer that was over it. His name is Brian Watkins. He is a lawyer that's been practicing law longer than I. And at first he had everything until we realized there was so much volume of work, because it doesn't just do this kind of work. It's not just police brutality now, right? Now it's, police lied, or it's an elected official did something wrong. It just became too much. Once we stood up these units and my county understood we were doing these kind of things, fortunately or unfortunately, the office started to get referrals. And so it just grew.
How many cases has this unit brought to trial approximately?
Oh, I couldn't tell you over the years, but we brought some to trial, especially these police brutality cases. I couldn't tell you exactly, so I'm not going to speculate.
Okay.
It's not as many as like my major crimes unit, but I can tell you that the anti-corruption and the civil rights unit, they cost me the most money because of the experts that are needed when you are trying a police case.
How much money would you estimate that you spend a year on that unit?
I can't, and I'm not.
You can't, you're not what, I'm sorry?
I'm not going to speculate to it. I can't estimate how much.
Okay. Is that something you could provide for the committee?
I don't know that I can. What happens is I have a professional services budget, and my top deputies of certain units, so my ED over major crimes, if he needs an expert, he can hire one. For instance, if you all want to look into legislation, look into properly funding your GBI. The GBI does not have enough scientific experts. This is not a criticism of the GBI. The scientists that are there are excellent. I want that to be noted that I said that. The scientists that are there are excellent, but they do not have enough experts. So in year one, when I become the DA, they tell me, and I have an email that proves it, we can't test all your ballistics evidence. We don't have enough. So I have to go into my budget, more than $100,000, I can tell you that. I think it's been about that annually, and hire private scientists to do that ballistics work. Now, I got the names of those scientists from the GBI, but also my deputy, Mr. Watkins, over civil rights, if he needs an expert, he knows that he can get one. If my ED over major crimes needs an expert, they can get one. My domestic violence expert, if they need a domestic violence expert, they can get one. And so it all comes out of this professional services budget that I both pay attorneys that come in and work as special prosecutors, and that I pay professional witnesses that we have to hire to do our work.
So Mr. Watkins was in charge by title, or was it more so by function that he was in charge of the unit?
I don't understand your question.
Did he have a title of director of the anti-corruption unit, or was he just a person that everyone knew would make the calls within the unit?
He was the deputy of the civil rights unit. Okay. He remains the deputy of the civil rights unit. At some point, the civil rights unit became civil rights and anti-corruption.
Do you use those terms interchangeably now?
I do not use them interchangeably. I have one deputy over anti-corruption and one deputy over civil rights.
Who's the current deputy over anti-corruption?
Tanya Boykin.
Who is the first one?
Sonia Allen. She is now the district attorney of Cobb County. She had a great DA from Fulton endorse her, and she won.
What was Mr. Wade's role in the anti-corruption unit?
He didn't have a role in the anti-corruption unit.
The election interference case, what unit did it fall under?
I called it the election team.
Okay. When Mr. Wade was he hired solely to focus on this election, to work on this election team, or did he do other work within your office?
I don't remember. I think there were times where I'd bring in some of my senior personnel and ask them, what's your thought on this case or these facts? I always involve wise counsel. I'm sure he was in some of those meetings.
Would you classify Mr. Wade as senior personnel as been part of your team?
would I classify him as senior? So he was a special prosecutor. He never worked for me as an employee. What I would call him is a seasoned lawyer, 25 years, first African-American lawyer to ever serve Cobb County as a municipal court judge. What I would call him is a lawyer with a distinguished resume.
Okay.
And what your ass will call him is your damn lover. God damn it. What does all this shit got to do with all her history? Nobody give a damn about how many cases her ass done won or tried or whatever. We here to hear about that goddamn screwing that y'all was doing. Your ass going to jail. I don't give a damn. You said your attitude, you got an attitude sitting there. Look at your eyes, they all rolled up like you can't be touched or something. This is the rule of law. Remember, you said that nobody's above the law, right? Sitting up there, that man, whoever that old white man sitting next to her, he looking like this dumbass bitch. Done hired me to try to protect you, knowing your ass is out there doing something you wasn't supposed to do at work.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Crazy. Anyway, let's get back to this, man. Sick of sitting up here looking at her like she ain't do nothing wrong. If she did something wrong, man, look, put a number 1 in the chat if this bitch did something wrong. You know, YouTube, they say you can cuss now, so put a 1 in the chat if y'all think this bitch is wrong going after Trump. How you gonna go after the president of the United States? And you got all that crime going on in Georgia. Come on, man. Let me hit your ass again with that.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Good Lord.
Oh, he needs some milk.
Yeah. She needs some milk. All that goddamn line. Let's go.
When did you begin to consider whether to bring charges in response to the 2020 presidential election in Georgia?
Don't answer that. That's a deliberative privilege. Don't answer that. I instruct you not to answer.
Is it true that part of your transition team was involved in the process of interviewing people before you entered office to lead the investigation
That's
into the
crazy.
2020 presidential election?
I'd like to answer that.
He told her not to answer that question. Good Lord.
Right ahead. You only take my advice sometimes. Anyway, go ahead.
That's really an ignorant question. And if you understand what the word ignorant means, it means the lack of knowledge. If you recall the facts, I was already district attorney when this all came to light. So it's factually impossible.
Why are you gay?
Who you talking to like that, lady? You see all the men sitting up there questioning your dumb ass? It's your fault. They didn't tell you to break the rules and go sleep with your hired help and somebody that you already knew and all this trying to go after the man. Come on, man. You sitting up there with an attitude problem because they questioning your dumb ass. Look at that brother in the back. He like, man, I wish this bitch stopped lying. Sitting up there with an attitude problem. It's just stupid as hell. You caused this damn problem. And I seen somebody in the chat say, what, she's doing her job? What is yours? Oh, man, I got a good job. If you're talking about me, if I'm reading the comments right. My job's so good, I could sit here on YouTube for a little while. I have to go back to my job. It's a good job. Anyway, let's go.
You were district attorney when what came to light?
When Raffensperger went on Good Morning America or whatever show he went on. I was already district
Whatever
attorney,
show
so
you
what you
remember the
asked
show.
is a factual impossibility. Now, I know they've gotten black folks confused and said I was running for office, saying I was going to prosecute the president of the United States, but that's what we call a lie.
That's what you did. The hell? You black and your ass went after the president. And I know you probably around my age. Back in the day, Donald Trump was the shit. He was taking pictures and being around all kind of black people. You just want to see this black president. Donald Trump is the real black president. Barack Obama wasn't black. You know what I'm saying? You trying to go out the first black president that's trying to help black people, help the real citizens of America. They already got all their bread. They got enough bread to want to care about if we make bread or not. So this lady right here tried to take that away. Tell you about them Atlanta DAs. Well, sick in the head.
Okay. I would like
Take your
to,
advice from here on out, okay?
Yeah.
Rachel said, how will you ever know anything she says if you don't even let her say 2 words? She's saying more than 2 goddamn words. She beating around the damn bush. Just get to the damn point on why your ass was cheating at work or whatever you was doing. 'Cause you know that's against the rules. They couldn't have me sitting up there on that panel because that's all the questions I'm gonna ask. I don't give a damn how long you been in a judge or whatever the hell you is, attorney. Don't nobody give a damn about. I don't. I want to know why your ass was doing something you ain't supposed to be doing at work. It is a job. Even at my job, we ain't supposed to be doing nothing. We supposed to go to work, get your money, take your ass home. You know what I'm saying?
if you take a look at the screen for me, if you will. This is from Mr. Wade's deposition to members of Jim Jordan's committee. And he was asked for the search committee. You said that began when DA Willis took office on January 1, 2021. Is that correct? Yes. And there was outreach to you to be part of the search committee prior to January 2021, January 1, 2021. Absolutely. When did that start? Sometime after the election, but prior to her taking office. Okay, so between the election, you're referring to November 2020 election, is that correct? Yes, ma'am. And so when you had conversations with individuals, you said on multiple occasions, you said no, and you turned down the position. Who were those conversations with? They were with the district attorney.
So I think you're
Look, I'm gonna tell you, I'm ready for all the trolls tonight. I don't give a damn. It's my first time back on live. I've been missing in action on this YouTube, doing stuff. I got other stuff I'm doing in the entertainment world. Like, you know, I do a lot of filming and I'm a technical guy. I know how to, you know what I'm saying? I'm one of those. I play the background. That's where all the money is. But I had a few little things I was doing that's very important to my career. So y'all see. I don't know if y'all see this chain right here. I don't know if y'all can read that right there, but that's what I've been doing for a little bit. So just read the logo on it. I don't like to brag about nothing, but anyway, I'm back. If y'all gonna troll, I don't give a damn. My moderators are coming here soon.
confusing facts. We've already had a long conversation about, I interviewed everybody at the DA's office, and I interviewed other people to come and work at the district attorney's office. And as I told you, I did that on my free time before I became DA. But I had no way of knowing that these criminals were going to commit a crime. And that did not come to light until January of 2021 when I'm actually the DA. So it is a factual impossibility, like I already told you. I think that that is misinterpreted. He's absolutely correct. We looked for talent for the district attorney's office before I became the DA. I didn't wait till the day I took office to look for talent that would represent my office. But I was
What kind of talent? Represent your talent. Represent what? What the hell? Okay.
What the hell?
What kind of talent you looking for?
unable to look for talent for a case that didn't exist before I took office. It's factually impossible. It's common sense. You don't need to be a lawyer.
I'm going to read you some additional testimony. I'll try to put it on the
You
screen.
can read me as much as you want, but
And I
that's the
will.
truth.
Thank you, Madam DA. I apologize. I did not intend to have to.
They come with that
Get
free
into that here.
Palestine shit. In the chats. Coming with that
What
damn
was the,
free
when
Palestine
Mr.
shit.
Wade says that there was an interview on line 13, as you'll see here. This is prior to you entering office. What were you interviewing him for?
I didn't interview
We got a long night and a long morning on this live right now. I'm finna go in.
him prior to him entering office. He had a thriving law practice. Even when he ends up being offered the position, he doesn't want it.
Okay, now,
I knew this had to stir some controversy. So what? God damn it. Make America great again.
so it's your testimony today that you and Mr. Wade did not have any conversations prior to you taking office relative to an investigation into the 2020 election.
Don't answer that. That is a deliberative privilege of what goes on in a district attorney's mind and the process that goes.
She wasn't district attorney.
She was.
Prior to being sworn in, she was district attorney.
No, she was not. But you
Thanks,
asked.
I'll return to my
Come
question.
on, man. He
Prior
tried to lie.
you being
real
sworn
quick.
as district attorney, is it your
I'm still
testimony
looking
today
at
that you
this.
did not have any conversation?
I'm still looking at this. He tried to lie. Whoever that man is sitting next to Fanny tried to lie. He got caught in a damn lie.
Prior to you taking office relative to an investigation into the 2020 election.
Don't answer that. That is a deliberative privilege of what goes on in a district attorney's mind and the
back too
process
far.
that goes.
She wasn't district attorney.
She was.
Oh yeah.
Prior to being sworn in, she was district attorney.
No, she was not. But you
I'll
asked.
return to my
He just
question.
lied.
You did not have any conversation with Mr. Wade about investigating the 2020 election.
Do you want to answer?
It's a dumbass question.
I know it is, but go ahead and tell him because
Come on.
it occurred after.
What? Wait a minute. He don't know the damn answer. She didn't want to answer it. So he made him try to answer it. And he got caught in a lie. Now he trying to clean it up. And now he bringing it back on her. You want to answer it? Now she talking about it sound like some bullshit. They trying to play that. They don't want to answer that question. They know they caught. I'm going to play it back again. Let me see. I'm going to let y'all hear it.
Prior to being sworn in, she was district attorney.
No, she was not. But you
That's where it's
asked.
I'll return to my
there.
question.
Hold on.
You here. This is prior to you entering office. What were you interviewing him for?
I didn't interview him prior to him entering office. He had a thriving law practice. Even when he ends up being
And don't answer that. That is a deliberative privilege of what goes on in a district attorney's mind and the process that goes.
She wasn't district attorney.
She was.
Prior to being sworn in, she was district attorney.
No, she was not. But you
Thanks,
asked.
I'll return to my question.
Oh, here.
Prior to you being sworn in as district attorney, is it your testimony today that you did not have any conversation with Mr. Wade about investigating the 2020 election?
Y'all trolling.
Do you want to answer?
it's a dumbass question.
I know it is, but go ahead and tell him because it occurred after he took office. But go.
I didn't know that he was going to commit a crime.
Just
prior
said
to
that
me
she was
taking
in office already, you
Like,
fucking
factually, it's
liar.
impossible.
You just said she was in office already. You a fucking liar. Now it happened after she became whoever the fuck she is.
Okay, thank you. Would you agree with the statement? Actually, I'll skip that question. When did you decide to hire outside of your office a special assistant district attorney for this election case?
Oh, Lord. So when I became the district attorney of Fulton County, the office was in absolute chaos.
So you
I had
came
to
clean it up. Seemed like you dirtied it up more. Sleeping with somebody at the damn job. While she came in, it was there. She cleaned it up. What?
Come on now, dog.
You ain't clean up shit.
Come on, man.
Man,
Why are you gay?
that's crazy.
You back. Can you hear me?
It's a little, I was gonna try to turn you up if you don't mind leaning forward.
When I became the district attorney of Fulton County, the office was in absolute chaos. And I mean every level of chaos. On the ground, the carpet was molded and there were holes in it, and it was disgusting, a disgusting environment. There were boxes in offices, some to where you couldn't open the door.
Wow.
I remember walking through the office before. I told you I'd fired 50 or 60, I don't know exactly how many employees that I felt were unqualified to do this work. That doesn't mean they were bad people, but they were unqualified for the positions that they held.
I'm gonna keep stopping. Wait a minute.
What the hell?
Your ass was unqualified for your damn position. You couldn't. Your ass was tempted and was up there messing around with employees up there. Talking about you came over here and cleaned it up, and it was boxes against the door. So in the hell, what? You made it even worse. Then you come in there firing people, 30 people, like no, them people, 30 people with jobs that probably are American damn citizens. You gonna fire all 30 of them because you thought it was dirty in there, and your dirty ass came in there and started acting the damn fool.
There were 18,000, write that down, 18,000 unindicted cases that went back 6 or 7 years that I was looking at. Not to mention another, 10,000 indicted cases in the system. Now, some that the judges had hid on judicial hold, but they were still there. So the office was in absolute chaos. And then I'm in the office I came in that Saturday, so that would have been day one. That was the day that I walked through the office. And I'm literally in the office that Monday or Tuesday, I can't recall now.
Google Trump Central Park 5. Man, that happened a long time ago. Now, you think that whatever that happened to that, whatever y'all talking about with that, affected me? It only affected the people that shit happened around. It didn't happen around me, so it don't affect me. I hear about stuff like that all the damn time. Shit. People gotta actually fight their cases to get out, or whatever it is. Like this, that's just something that happened. So are they out of jail, or what's going on with that? I think I'm talking about the right story. That shit don't affect me.
What day it is. And there's this phone call, and the Secretary of State saying, oh, the proper venue to investigate this might be Fulton County. And so my priority became, and this is important too, there were 200 and something murders that had been sitting for years, families that had been waiting for justice for years. And so when I come to be the district attorney.
What did you do? What did you do when you became the district attorney? Let us know.
My first responsibility is just getting the office properly set up. In fact, one of the most important roles I held up that I tried to find was the head of the civil rights lawyer. So when Brian Watkins walked into my office and actually interviewed to come there, because he was not with the old administration, that was like a gift from God, that I had a lawyer that had enough experience and would be talented enough and ethical enough and have the integrity to do this work. But my primary job—
Calm down, lady.
—was getting the entire office set up. So I immediately do things like set up a murder backlog project. I put Mike Carlson and Michael Sprinkle in charge of that. We're going to get every family's going to get an answer. They may not like the answer. The answer may be we can't prosecute this, but we're not going to sit with cases. We got to make decisions on these cases. And it took us years to get through that, but we did. And I'm happy to sit here and announce to you, every one of those 18,000 cases, a decision got made on to include those 101 police cases I talked about, as well as the 46,100 and I think 36 cases that came in January 1st, 2021 till December 31st of 2024. So while people tell these lies about the DA ain't been working, I want you to find a DA working as hard as me.
They did find the DA work hard as you. You didn't set that damn office up. I seen somebody in the chat said the carpet was too dirty. She couldn't lay on her back. I'm with you on that. She set that damn place up where she can do and be sneaky, do sneaky things. That's what she did. But yeah, okay, all those cases got assigned to whatever. They got solved, whatever you trying to say. But what about your case? What about this goddamn case? Can you solve your own damn case? Yeah, you done did all that, put in all that work, and your ass got caught up after you cleaned the house. You cleaned everything around you so your ass can get caught.
Was
After you fired 30,000, whatever number it was you fired. You don't think one of them people out of them number gonna have seen you done something, or you didn't think they seen you and they leaked out some information? Must be crazy.
when did you decide to hire outside counsel, a special assistant district attorney, for the election interference case?
When it became obvious that this case would take so much investigation to learn the truth, and that I would need people that could focus on that. And although I had talent in the office that was being developed, each and every member of my
Talent being
staff
developed.
had a priority. See, this is the most important case to you. Let me tell you what the most important case was to me.
But come on, tell him what his most case. Tell him. God damn it.
When I walked in the office, there had been 2 black children that had been killed, Sequoia Turner and Kennedy Maxwell. Those were the 2 most important cases to me as the DA. And I needed to make sure that those families got justice, but the cases didn't come with a bow on them. In fact, one of the cases was particularly not done properly. And so my priority became making sure I had the talent to make sure we got all of those cases done. If you're wondering, both those men are doing life right now for taking those children from us.
Certainly aware of the case in the autonomous zone, and
Rest in peace to them little children. But that still don't take away the fact that you got a case. You need to solve your own damn case.
everything that happened back in that tragic time frame. So definitely appreciate those murderers being behind bars. So you didn't really give me a date range, but we'll just move on here. But you did consider Governor Barnes for this role. He's testified to that previously.
And let me tell you what Governor Barnes told me. Governor Barnes told me when he was the governor, he changed the state flag from the Confederate flag. And that as a result of him changing the Confederate flag to changing the flag to make it more inclusive to all Georgians, that the Ku Klux Klan sat outside his house and that he lived under threat during that time period. He told me that him and his beautiful wife had survived that, but that he was an older gentleman now. I'm going to say that nicely. He was an older gentleman, and due to the nuts that would come out of the woodwork if I was doing this type of work, that he was not at a juncture in his life where he could take those kind of security risks. He also refused to work for $250 an hour.
I can attest to that.
We've got some
think
questions
she's
in here,
trying to
Governor,
find-
on your rates, and
She thinks she trying to sun the committee right now. She was what? Sound like a disgruntled employee. Or somebody disgruntled baby mama or something. The way she talking.
Where he could take those kind of security risks. He also refused to work for $250 an hour.
I can attest to that.
we've got some question in here, Governor, on your rates, and yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. You did, Madam DA, you considered several attorneys for this case in addition to Mr. Barnes,
I did.
and ultimately you selected Mr. Wade to oversee the anti-corruption unit. Is that correct?
Oh, there go the
He
name,
never
y'all.
oversaw the
I'm sorry.
anti-corruption unit.
The name, y'all. They said Mr. Wade name.
My apologies. To oversee the elections interference case.
To manage, yes.
To man,
How would
what?
you delineate manage versus my choice of oversee?
They're the same.
Okay.
But he was there to manage.
What happened between January 2021, I believe that's when the phone call was that you referenced, in November 2021, which was the time that Mr. Wade signed his first contract what type of work happened within any area of your office in terms of gathering evidence or considering whether or not to bring these charges?
You want me to answer? Not particularly. I don't think it's any of their business.
You're getting into why a grand jury returns a bill of indictment. That is a deliberative process wrapped in the discretion of the district attorney. We're not going to get, I'm going to instruct her not to answer. Wait just a minute, let me finish. You can, if you see fit, you can seek to enforce that question, at which time she would be entitled to a jury trial in Fulton County, and I would be able to cross-examine you with each one of you with a real judge ruling on real law. But until that happens, I'm going to instruct her not to.
So, on your advice of counsel, you're asserting privilege.
He looked like he been drinking gin all day. Damn.
I'm telling her not to answer.
I'm clarifying with the
She
witness.
doesn't have to answer that. I'm not a potted plant. I can answer.
You can advise. You can absolutely advise your client, Governor Barnes. I'm asking your
I
client.
suggest you move on.
I'm asking your client.
Who you, girl? What the? These must not be no judges and whoever they're questioning her ass. The committee, man, please. She up there talking about, I suggest you move on. Like, what you threatening somebody?
Fine, if you are asserting privilege on the answer to the question.
I made the objection on the record and told you even what you can do to enforce it.
What was the total cost of the election interference case?
I don't recall, but if we want to talk about cost, I'd love to talk about how last year alone the AG paid one lawyer $8 million.
You don't know what the cost of was the
Right.
You don't know the cost of the election
Right, she acting like she untouchable. I said that earlier.
interference case. You
I
give
don't
a
know
range.
the exact cost,
What's a range?
as I don't want to speculate to numbers.
Who you think you? Wait a minute.
Whatever.
Wait a minute. Why she think she could just talk like that? She just like just crazy. Like what? These must be the what the hell? Look at them sorry dudes sitting up there. We need some other people sitting up there questioning her. The dude with the yellow tie ain't said nothing yet. The bald head black dude, they ain't said, I don't know if he's sitting up to the desk or not, but he ain't said nothing yet either. Shit. The hell? The man in the middle just keep talking.
Cost. They tried to steal the rights of thousands of Georgians. It couldn't have been enough.
What was the rough total operating budget of your office last year?
I don't know that. It's probably around $40 million. That's a speculation and a guess. That includes state money, grant money, and that's not an exact number. I don't do the budget. I have very high level conversations about that.
Okay. Can you give us a rough breakdown of that, the county budget and the state budget?
I cannot, and I'm not going to guess for you.
Does the federal government
What?
give you any money?
I do have some grants, yes.
The only source of federal money you get is from grants.
To my knowledge, I don't. There may be something else. We may have some federal seizure money. If we do, it's not much.
Some of these comments are being held for review. So when I read them, I might show one or two because people saying some crazy stuff on these chats it's hiding, like reviewing the comments.
So I don't know. I don't want to speculate. If I say, oh, they gave me grant money and this federal seizure money, and you find some line item someplace that I don't know,
Exactly.
you'll swear.
Exactly, Kevin Love. I mean, come on, man. She thought it was cool. She thought she can get away with it, just like all them goddamn Somalians over there frauding the government for $9 billion with a B. Like, come on, man. You think they can get away with shit? It'll last for a while. They say all good things come to an end. That's what they say. But now all good things some people have is to be forever. But hell, Some of them got that luck. All good things come to an end when you out there fucking up. Period.
I was trying to lie to you when the truth
No,
is
I'm
I
just-
don't know the correct answer.
I'm just trying to get to, I know you run a tight ship over there. You're proud of your work. I would assume that you would
I'm
have
the
some
best
sort of,
DA in the Southeast. Why wouldn't I be proud of my work?
what's your
Should
annual
be
budget?
proud of your work, and you are the best DA because you giving up that coochie
I told you it's around $40 million, but I do not
at work.
know an exact number.
And what's the approximate source of funds that you receive from the state versus the county?
Me, like every other district attorney in this state, do not receive enough funds. I told you that you all pay 20 to 25 ADAs. I don't know the exact number. I don't have it in front of me. You pay two legal assistants and one investigator. Now, Fulton County is 1,000,002 people. It's the place that when people come to Georgia, they're coming is to Atlanta. On a daily basis, we have 5 million people, and we are very improperly funded. If this committee wants to do some real work, it'll get serious about crime fighting among this state. From every rural community to
Madam DA,
I'm answering my question.
I'm good. That's not an answer to the question.
Okay, well,
Have the right to finish your answer.
if this committee wants to get serious about legislation to make the communities in the state of Georgia
It was a comment in there, man. That's crazy. I can't show that one. Mm-mm.
safer, they will invest more money in every district attorney's office across this state. That's the rural DAs need more, the middle size, the residentials, and the big cities like Atlanta. All of us need more resources to be able to do our job appropriately. And it is the way that these people are funded that are dedicating their lives to public service. Also, I want to go back to, because this is extremely important and you have the power to do it. The Georgia Bureau of
Madam
Investigations
DA,
cannot
I
taste
did
rape
not ask you
kids.
for advice on what the legislature
You
should
asked
do. We
Exactly what the resolution said, to take advice on legislation.
and we will get to that time.
Well, you asked the question, she has a right to fully answer.
And if she would answer the question, Governor, I would not be saying it.
She said,
She's pontificating on everything from rape kits, which was what she was about to get into. The question was the amount of money that came from state funds and county funds. And if she doesn't know the answer to that question, the answer is I don't know. The question isn't
Yeah.
let me talk. The answer isn't let me talk about rape kits. So I'll get back to.
By the time that dude in the middle stand up, damn. She trying to avoid the question. How much money did you take? Shit, how much did it take? You can't answer the damn question because she broke the bank paying her lover.
The line of questioning. I'm going to give you latitude here, Madam DA, but I same way in a courtroom, there are guardrails as to what we need to.
Richard said, "What the fuck? Another Oreo MAGA host?" Man, he said Oreo. That's one thing for sure. Yeah. Okay. But welcome to the channel. Look, welcome to the internet. All right. Yeah. Welcome to the internet. That's all I gotta say. Welcome to the internet. If you don't like it here, you can go ahead and go. We clown over here. We try to keep it regular. We have a lot of podcasters that's they talk all proper. They trying to like, come on, man. We here, we chilling. So shit, I don't give a damn. We chilling. So welcome to the show. And welcome to the internet.
Stay in and within. Indeed, Governor. And this is not a courtroom.
make evidentiary rulings, and you don't have the power.
I have plenary power, Governor, to conduct the meeting.
No, sir, you do
Absolutely.
not. You do not have plenary power. I know you think you do.
Who you talking
that
to,
you're
old
above
man?
the law, but you are not.
A question to ask the man.
Why are you gay?
Shut the hell up, man.
Come on now,
Let the
dawg.
man look. You don't have
Come on.
the man right there, her attorney, whoever that is. He trying to control the room, and the dude in the middle finally grew a backbone. Now he trying to put their ass in their damn place. Homeboy mad. I can answer for her. No, you can't, motherfuckers. She the one who was out there sleeping around. Was you in the room? You was getting your ditty on watching her? The hell? Let the lady answer this goddamn question. She can't answer. Everybody knows she lying then. Yeah. Because that's what she'll do. If she took somebody to court, the way she talking here, trying to defend herself, I can just imagine her prosecuting your ass. So answer it. Let her answer her goddamn own question. She done seen enough crime, done had enough cases to know how to answer some goddamn questions.
For contempt,
Governor,
she is entitled to a jury trial, and I can examine you on your actions, and I can examine you on your motives, then I will be glad to take that, as Clint Eastwood would say, make my day.
We know the motives. He's on the ballot.
Governor, this is
This
A-
is a witch.
this is a hearing of the Senate Special Committee on Investigations.
You're not worried about those that you convicted illegally and locked up. Why is it that you run ads?
We're going to go on to our next question.
Go on to the next question, man. Shut his
You think
ass
we
up.
give you the money, and I know that's a loose term,
DA for every.
and
Go on to the next
that
question.
flows into the Fulton County coffers, so to speak. And when you remit payment, you do that through the Fulton County accounting system. Is that correct?
Your question was compound. I didn't understand.
Sure. I'll try to break
it
that
was,
down.
it was compound. You finna ask again.
When checks are written as a result of a check request made by your office, those checks are paid by Fulton County. Is that correct?
I don't know how every check is written and if that's going to be 100% accurate. So I'm going to refrain from asking that question. What I can tell you is that, and probably happens in every other circuit, the district attorney has control over their budget and they don't have to go to the county. But I understood I was a woman DA coming into office. I also understood that I was African American.
You was a woman in a DA coming into the office, and you was African American woman. You was a DA coming into the office, and you're African American. Let me shut up. Let me keep going.
Therefore, there would always be a target on my back. And so I did two things financially. One is I've never, so people can stop requesting, had a credit card associated with that office. Never. So I've never had a credit card, will never have a credit card. The other thing I did is that there is a CFO of Fulton County, a white female. Her name is Sharon Whitmore. I believe you've heard from her. And so I made it so that the procedures of my office, although I did not have to do it, that it has to go through her for clearance. That way, nobody would say the district attorney.
KCPW say, what do you think about women? I love them. Yeah, I ain't got no problem with them. Yeah. I got a bunch of daughters, so man. But some of these women is ghetto as hell in these high offices, just like Jasmine Crockett. And Jasmine Crockett didn't even grow up in the damn hood. Y'all know about Jasmine Crockett, put a 1 in the chat, man. 'Cause her ass, she out here changing her tone. I know people that's chameleons, but damn, just keep it real. Shit, I'm a ghetto ass bitch, and I like the men in the office. It ain't stopping me from that's all she gotta say. It ain't stopping me from winning cases. I won't spend no more money. My bad, y'all. That's all she gotta say. And Jasmine Crockett just say, I'm a fake ass bitch that I grew up in the suburbs and went to a school that you had to pay money to go to. And I want to be black. That's all Jasmine Crockett gotta say. But anyway, let's get back to this stupid ass shit. Just answer the goddamn question. How much money did you spend? When y'all started sleeping here? What day y'all started sleeping together? Shit. And we gonna go from there. From that day on, then we gonna have to spend the time behind bars as long as you've been sleeping with this dude. A day for a day. Just give it to her like that.
Attorney stole any money.
Okay, that gets to the core of my question. So when you're paying vendors, when you're paying contractors, that's going through, I think you said her name was Miss Whitmore, and she did testify before the committee. What I'm getting to, and I'm trying to figure out, is whether when the
Yeah, where are the Epstein tapes? That shit ain't affecting me, so I don't even ask about no goddamn Epstein and that bullshit. They all got caught up, shit happened, and that's it. He ain't no none of the members in my family, and I'm just keeping it real. Yeah, what seeing him on tape is gonna solve my life. Yeah, everybody's so addicted to a trend. Epstein file. Let me see what's in. Y'all all nasty. Y'all want to see all that nasty shit. Fuck all that. It's a damn distraction. Bullshit. If the rich politicians was sleeping around with whatever, they gonna go send their ass to jail. Shit. But the Epstein files don't run in my goddamn life. And Trump don't either. I just got the damn hat on. I want America to be great again. Or have it ever been great? That's the question. But since I've been alive, it's been great to me. And I'm seeing it go downhill. Yeah. That's keeping it 100 for real. I was born and raised in this motherfucker. It's great to me. But now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to get into this politics shit and see that at any wrong turn, this goddamn country can go to shit. So, Epstein files, I don't give a damn about that shit.
The state funds come in, the federal funds come in, the county funds come in. Are those paid for out of separate accounts? Are those funds kind of commingled into a general budget, if you will, and that gets allocated?
I really couldn't answer the question. There's many different pots of money from the county. The state directly pays those state employees. Then they get another check from the county, the ones that don't make enough from the state. I really can't fully answer your question of all the ways. I have a team that I call my deputy. I have a deputy of operations and a team that
You
does
know all
kind of
that.
stuff, but there's some money from the county. There's some money from the state. The grant money I know goes through the state. The truth is I don't have any grants. Fulton County has grants, but those grants do benefit my office. My Saki
What?
unit
make no
is
sense.
renowned. I'm ending the year with a 100% conviction rate on Special Victims Division. Saki is a sexual assault kit initiative. Georgia, like many states, failed victims, mainly victims of color. And so rape kits for years, going back to the 80s, were not tested. So we have a grant with the federal government that, and I'm talking about thousands of rape kits where they go and they test those rape kits. What we have found is if they would have done those jobs and believed those victims, that many of those rape kits go back to serial rapists. They
Well,
also go back to
I ain't
people
gonna
that have
say nothing
committed
on
other
this part.
crimes. I have excellent attorneys that are in that unit, some that I pay out of the grant, some that I add with my general fund. And as I said, not just my Saki unit, but my crimes against children unit, my Saki unit, my sexual assault unit, my human trafficking unit. We're ending the year with 100%.
So just yes or no on these. We can move quickly.
Good job. Good job. Now that's the information I want to hear. Y'all solving them type of crimes. Because that's terrible for people to be doing that to suspecting people. You know? That's terrible. Lock all them damn people up. And get the ones that they released into this damn country too. Yeah, all them illegal immigrants. The ones that's got crimes of that nature. Get their asses up out of here too. But give another round of applause. Good job with that. Good job with that. But let's get back on your ass. No Diddy. Your ass in trouble.
Be on to the next topic. You said you do not have a county credit card or a DA credit card.
Absolutely not. So y'all can say I stole some money.
Is there any sort of DA checking account that's separate that you use to pay your vendors or anything like that, or is it all go through the county?
I really can't answer that, and so I'm not going to speculate.
Okay. You mentioned forfeiture funds before. Do you have a ballpark of how much you've received? I think you said it was a small number of state forfeiture funds.
No, I said federal.
Okay.
I don't think there's much in the federal forfeiture account.
Do you receive state forfeiture funds?
I do.
Approximately how much a year is that in an average year?
I don't know the number to that. I can tell you I have sitting in abeyance. I just did a huge forfeiture, but it's not money we can touch yet, and it's a couple $1 million.
How much is that? Anybody should.
your-
Anybody can remember how much a couple $1 million. She talking about she don't know the real. What? You can explain all that stuff, but you don't recall how much. Bitch.
Understanding of the allowed uses of state forfeiture funds?
Oh, if I don't know the use of a forfeiture money, I talk to lawyers in the office. I'll go to PAC. I don't touch forfeiture money unless I get some approval.
Do you know any delineation between the allotment, the allowance of uses between state forfeiture funds?
Yeah, there's definitely
and federal?
rules around. There's definitely rules.
I was asking about the difference between federal and state, if there's any rules there.
There are rules to both, and I don't know I can't tell you the rules for each. Anytime we were going to make an expenditure, we would look at it, I'm sure.
Do you know if those funds are commingled at all within your system?
I don't know it, but I would believe not.
Okay. Who is it? You mentioned that you've got people. Who is it that oversees the use of forfeiture funds in the office?
It's going to be the county that stuff is going to go back to the county.
And do you know whether or not any forfeiture funds were used to pay Mr. Wade?
I'm not aware of that. We would have submitted the invoices to the county. The county would have used one of those mini line items. They would have paid them.
Look, this current administration is gonna make an example out of one of these people. So if she get away, you got others that was trying to take Trump down or doing lawfare and all that other stuff. Probably not even trying to take Trump down. He's just doing a bunch of felonious shit. And now the shit coming to light because other departments are falling right now. So it's getting cleaned up out here. But they're going to have to make an example out of one of these people who's on the news. Akeem Jeffries, get his ass. Shit. I'm about tired of him. Shit, that motherfucker right there. What they call him, the Timu and Dollar General Obama. Shit. I'm tired of seeing him and Chuck Schumer. Shit. Damn. Won't they go with Chuck Schumer need to retire. He need to get on up out of there before they find a case and put it on his ass. Like, you better get out of there while you can. Everything that Trump do, it just look crazy. Like, everything that Trump is doing for the country, the other side got the bitch and complain about it. God damn it. Why are y'all complaining about somebody trying to make the country better? That's crazy. Fuck this MAGA hat and all that stupid ass shit. This is all common sense. It ain't about MAGA or Democrats, and then it ain't about politics. This shit is about a way of life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Take all the politics shit out of it. Why these motherfuckers on the other side keep on combating everything that this nigga do? Damn, that shit crazy. And then you got these crazy ass people in the street, like they ain't got no damn jobs or something, out there protesting everywhere. Like, you know how many people are being arrested? It's a lot of people being arrested. So you mean to tell me it's protests at everybody that's getting arrested? So that means a gang of people ain't got no jobs. They getting paid to do this shit. Who got time to go out there and then the people that's protesting, and if they real protesters, they protesting they damn demise. Shit, that's stupid. You want to give away all your money. It's like them goddamn Somalians pirated America anyway. They you know, ain't no shade to Somalia. I'm talking about some Somalis. Shit, let me say it that way. You had them pirates, them little Somali pirates on the water, jacking big ass ships and shit in the ocean. Now you got a gang of them over here, and they taking every fucking thing any goddamn way. So it's crazy. I want that shit up out. I don't want to be paying for motherfuckers that ain't doing shit, but trying to steal from the money that I make. I got a good job. I work for the government. So I don't gotta fall for that shit. That shit crazy. But everything this man do, these motherfuckers keep on fighting against and trying to find this and find that. But when you got somebody like this and it's all white, talking about ain't nobody above the law. Guess what she was doing? Breaking the goddamn law. That's why she's sitting in front of these damn people. All this shit is stupid. Fuck the hat, the red hat, the black, the liberal, where all the talk that they fuck all that shit. This is about humanity here. Like, shit. Motherfucker trying to make it better. Shit, I don't want to, we don't know if you was born here in America. We do not know how I feel to see rockets and bombs falling out the damn air. We don't know about that shit, but them other countries know. We don't know. We got it good over here, and you got some motherfuckers don't know how good they got it just because of their feelings and what they believe. Like, fuck that shit. Somebody put on there, stand with pedals. Then ain't nobody standing with none of them motherfuckers. I said lock all them bitches up. Ain't that what I said earlier? And the motherfuckers that's over here illegal, lock their asses up. Shit, the ones that's committing them type of crimes. I ain't standing with none of that shit. All I'm saying is just don't hate the message. I mean, don't hate the messenger. Wait a minute. Yeah, don't hate the motherfucker who bringing the damn message. Let me put it that way. It could have been somebody other than Trump, but if they was doing the same shit or the right shit to try to clean this country up somewhat, I'd be rocking with them too. Shit. I'm for this. I'm for where I was born and raised at. Shit, I don't want to see that shit go to hell. You already got a lot of open air markets on the streets that normally, when I was growing up, you didn't see that shit. You used to be able to walk up the street without going around a barbecue stand, people selling food and shit all in the goddamn sidewalk. I didn't grow up like that. Shit. You barely seen that shit. And I'm from Compton. Let me tell y'all, I'm from Compton. So anybody in this chat talking all that crap, like, you know what I'm saying? I was raised and I did pretty good. Shit. But I want this country to, I don't want it to change to another country. Put it that way.
Can you think of a reason why forfeiture funds would be used to pay Mr. Wade?
I guess he's,
Don't ask. She just told you that she doesn't know. So
yeah, you were asking me to speculate.
You do not know whether Mr. Wade was paid with state forfeiture funds or not?
You're asking me to speculate.
No, I'm asking if you know whether or not state forfeiture, any forfeiture funds were used.
I'm unaware of that.
You know, bitch.
I'm unaware if the
answer,
answer
you
is
know.
yes. I'm unaware if the answer is no. What I'm aware of is the process was turn in a bill and they would do it. You and Jim Jordan working together?
Never talked to Mr. Jordan. Just
I don't know
want to
about
point
that.
this,
Anybody who doesn't report people that get raped in college, I'm gonna have to disagree
just
with you
want to
there,
point this
Governor.
out here. This is you recognize the bottom form here, Fulton County Court Payment Voucher.
I don't.
Is this you've never seen any document in this format before?
Never.
Okay. Well, this shows a number of things here. It shows what fund it was paid from here, which is 440, which is your the forfeiture fund account. You can see at the top the unit name confiscated
be right
funds for this invoice, and then here you can see that this was a payment made. And I apologize, you can't see my mouse. On the left side there, right in the middle, you can see that this was a payment made to the law office of Nathan Wade. In reviewing for your testimony today, we just did review the bills and look through different sources of funds that were used to pay Mr. Wade. I know your testimony is you were not aware that forfeiture funds were used. We saw Mr. Wade was paid from forfeiture funds and from the county general fund, which is Fund 100. And that's why I was getting to the uses of forfeiture funds to pay independent contractors. Do you have any knowledge of any restrictions that may be around the concept of using forfeiture funds to pay independent contractors?
I do not. It was my understanding that Mr. Wade was paid out of my professional services budget.
Okay. What's the accounting process? Again, that's kind of what I was getting to earlier. Of kind of, if it was your understanding he was paid out of the professional services budget, that would intimate that there's some sort of accounting procedure within either your office or the county office where there are separate fund allocations. And I asked you if your funds were commingled and everything was paid out of the same, or if there were dedicated accounts. So you were unaware that Mr. Wade was paid out of the forfeiture funds. You believe he was paid out of the professional services funds. What would be the process, as you understand, in your office to determine what fund a invoice is paid from?
You're in the weeds, and I don't know the answer.
Okay. we've already talked about the selection of the special SADA, special assistant district attorneys. I may use those interchangeably. The process of interviewing Governor Barnes, among some other folks, ultimately settling on Mr. Wade.
I don't want you to act like he was,
Well, after just talking to 2 or 3 people, I think, to be fair, I don't think
he's a
I'm not staying
lawyer,
at the
been
bottom of
practicing law 25 years.
Sure. What was the reason that you chose to use, and I think if you could just unpack this for us, so
I'm back.
a little bit more, that you chose to use a special assistant DA at the rate of $250 an hour versus using the attorneys that were already in your office or hiring additional attorneys at a rate that you referenced earlier is between, I think you said between $85,000 and $200,000 a year.
Because we were drowning. And each of so most of the lawyers I had in the office wouldn't be qualified to do that work, most of them. I had some that were qualified to do that work, but each of them had a major project. Let me use those 2 cases that mattered most to me, Kennedy Maxey and Sequoia Turner. I was determined we were gonna win those cases. So on day 1, those cases got handed to Miss Dacia Young. In addition to handing her that, because nobody has one job, I handed her the Special Victims Division, at which time had like 8 units. So she's doing both these 2 big cases, and she's over the entire Special Victims Division. Same thing with Mr. Carlson, very qualified lawyer, but I handed him 6 units, and I also told him, you gonna get rid of these 250 or so murders that we have. We're gonna do a project, we're gonna set it up, we're gonna go one by one. So every lawyer I had with that level of experience had a huge project. I assigned a lawyer to deal with the 18,000 backlog. I don't wanna be sitting here and, it took us, I think, 3 years to get through those, as well as keep up with the 46,000 cases that end up coming in my first term. So everyone had some. So it became obvious to me that I needed a lawyer that could manage this team while I did the rest of the work of the people.
Oh yeah.
And there was nobody else,
the rest
either
of-
internal or that you could have hired at a lower rate that could.
You did the rest of the work of the people. You sure did that. You did the rest of the work for the people. Somebody in the chat will say, Sheen Green say, lock this liar up. Yeah, because
Oh! He
she
needs
needs
some
some milk.
milk.
Lock her ass up. Shouldn't have been cheating at work.
You
A
just
lower
described.
rate than 250? It's an insult to take 250 for a lawyer that's been practicing law that long.
I thought you told me earlier that your range of people that work for you are between 85, not dollars an hour, but $85,000 a year and $200,000.
Yeah, but an 85,000 is like one domestic violence grant. I usually only hire someone with 3 years of experience. I make an exception with that because that's, an offensive salary. Although I can tell you, I think the state is paying lawyers 64,000. I mean, it's ridiculous. I just graduated Georgetown Law, and she's making $280,000-$300,000 a year. We do not take public service seriously, and we need to, because my lawyers do greater work than most of these lawyers in this civil firm.
And let me point
Shit, I wish I made $280,000 goddamn dollars a year. Shit. They talking big numbers and shit for an average person like me. Shit. I wish he had $280,000 a year on the job I do. Man, you think I'll be complaining?
out one thing. You're using gross amounts. That doesn't include
Benefits.
the perks, the health insurance and all that stuff, which Wade did not have.
Sure. Describe for me the experience level of your top paid, or somebody that would fall within the category of the top paid assistant district attorney that works for you at the $200,000 a year. And to Governor Barnes's point, plus benefits, let's just say that that's $250. And if I take that divided by 2,000 hours, that's about $125 an hour.
I don't understand the question.
My question is, what is the experience level of the assistant district attorney?
Are you trying to intimate that you're going to tell me who to hire and how to do my job?
No, ma'am. I'm asking you, the people, the wonderful people that you have hired, they're the top of your pay scale at $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
What is their experience level?
Yeah,
'Cause
what like I said, what are they doing? What makes them be able to make $200,000 a goddamn. What is the experience level? Because if they can make that, I can go apply over there because they ain't looking for no experience. Shit, make me a quick 200,000.
I'll let you answer that, and I'll ask my next question.
20 years practicing or
Okay.
more.
And it's your testimony that somebody with 20 years practicing or more would not be able to manage the election interference case.
You are really not listening. I said that I had people at that pay rate, and each of them was assigned a major task within my office. And no, I did not have anyone that was not assigned with a major task that I trusted to manage this case. And so I made a decision. The people of Fulton County elected me to make that decision, and I did.
Is there a reason why you decided to go the special assistant district attorney route via independent contractor
Yeah.
as opposed to a new full-time hire?
Yeah, why would you go for somebody who don't even really work there with y'all instead of a full-time hire? Somebody that really been there. He trying to get to her special interest. Why he get the job and you had other qualifying people there to do it? You know, wasted all that money. Trump still didn't go to jail behind that. Yeah, but what did you do?
I think it's asked and answered, sir.
Okay.
Because it was cheap. You don't have to pay the perks.
Governor, I'm happy for you to provide counsel to your client, but in terms of testimony, that's what the district attorney is here for today.
Man, y'all subscribe and hit
Can
that
you describe-
goddamn-
Fair notice.
Y'all subscribe and hit that damn notification bell. God damn it. Do that for your boy. We just chilling, man. So. But we still talking about something. God damn it. Her ass in trouble.
I'm not going to allow her to answer repetitive questions that have been answered time and time again.
Were there any internal policies that you had that kind of drew a line between you when you would use your internal staff versus hiring a special assistant district attorney, or was it more so based on workload like you described?
It was based on my decisions.
Okay. At its peak, how many total attorneys were working on the election interference case?
Come on, lady.
Maybe 9, approximately.
You referenced to Mr. Cross before. I believe that's a.
Who?
I believe you referenced to Mr. Cross before
I don't know, Mr. Cross.
a couple minutes ago. Miss Cross, I apologize.
What about him?
Her,
Who are you talking about?
Miss Anna Cross.
I never referenced Miss Anna Cross.
I believe you referenced Miss Cross when we were going through
I didn't read back the testimony.
Can you give me the
That's what
breakdown
he
of
reading
the
it.
total attorneys that were on the case? How many of those were full-time within your office, and how many of those were independent contractors?
I believe I had 3 independent contractors.
One of those being Mr. Wade. Who were the other two?
John Floyd, Anna Cross. Diversity, white male, white female, black male. Diversity is intentional.
What kind of experience do you look for in those special
DEI.
assistant
That's
district
what
attorneys?
it was. You put DEI in the way.
They're all amazing lawyers. John Floyd is the RICO expert. He wrote the book, literally. He taught me RICO. So that was his experience. He's not he's not necessarily going to be the trial prosecutor, but he certainly is great to help you put together an indictment, and he is certainly capable of questioning a witness, but that was not his forte. Miss Cross is a brilliant mind. She writes beautifully, and is very well versed in the law. I had worked for a prosecutor in the past, so I looked for smart people with integrity that could do the work. And I got 3 lawyers, each the guy put in different skin, that could do the work.
Be careful what you say. Put it in different skin. What the hell?
Thank you for giving us Miss Cross's.
You didn't explain why Mr. Wade was so important. You explained the other 2, but not him. We know what Wade was good for. We know what he was good for.
Background, the rest of those as well. Has Mr. Wade ever prosecuted a RICO case prior to the election interference case?
Mr. Wade has certainly was served as
Right, Jean Ray. Anytime she get pissed, shifts her sitting position. That means she lying. When she shift her sitting position, her ass lying like a motherfucker, trying to do body language to try to cover up that lie.
the prosecutor before this. He also has worked as a criminal defense attorney, and I believe he has defended RICO cases.
But as far as you know, he had not prosecuted.
I didn't need him for that. That's why I get to make the selection and not you.
Has he ever prosecuted any felonies? No, you referenced him prosecuting
What you needed
cases.
him
My
for?
understanding this is the first felony case that he was on the prosecutor side for. Is that accurate?
I'm not sure if that's accurate. I know I believe he did some work for the Attorney General, although the Attorney General never tries as many cases as my office.
I want to talk about
But different people are needed for different things. And the people of Fulton County elected me to make those decisions. And I know y'all want to come in and be daddy and create QAnon committees that will judge prosecutors and have these committees. But unfortunately for you, I won this vote by 68% this time, 87 in the Democratic, 68 the general, 72% last time. So the people of Fulton County have selected me to make these choices, and I make them. And my city and county are safer because I make them.
So your city and county is safer because you make you doing good work. But let's talk about why you sitting here in the first place. You shouldn't have never did what you did. You should have never threw stones and you got a glass house too. You know what I'm saying? You throwing stones and then you breaking down your own damn house because you tried to go after the damn person. Didn't nobody know who the hell Fannie Willis was? Maybe the people in Georgia did, but I didn't. Shit, I'm way over here in Cali. Shit. She threw stones at the wrong goddamn house. And her ass was doing something. Just like Letitia James. Going after that, and then she get caught up in the damn scandal about her ass, her mortgage and shit. And you got Tampon Tim Walls over there going after Trump. He got $9 billion, $18 billion worth of Somali theft going on over there. So, I mean, we'll go around, come around, shit. And that old white man sitting next to her, somebody in the chat says they was waiting on him to breathe.
Oh,
'Cause
he needs some milk.
and the other dude in the back with his head down, he looked like they sleep like a motherfucker. God damn. Her ass sitting over here lying, shifting in her seat.
in the in your prior testimony with Miss Ashley Merchant, there was conversation around what she referred to as block billing. How would you describe block billing?
Oh, let's talk about Miss Merchant.
Let's just talk about block billing, please.
We're not.
Opened it, man.
I've opened the question to block billing.
You know, the credibility of whoever's saying it is
Well, then let's just
So I'd like to talk about what this committee did the last time we were here. And for the press, I will have 50 copies of this so each person can get a copy. You all, the last time y'all had a committee meeting, you all purported this lie that I had the honor of meeting Vice President Kamala Harris. The
question's about block
no, I'm
billing,
going to
Madam
answer
Dia.
this question right now. And
How you
when
get to
you
question
stated
somebody?
that, you stated that it was me and it was Mayor Dickens. And then you put this exhibit up for the entire world to see. How disingenuous, how lacking of integrity for Miss Merchant as an attorney to put it up, and for Cowsert, who I noticed is cowardly not here, to have it here. This clearly says, I'm at a Black History Month project. Almost every important Black elected official across the country was invited to it. I'm on the lawn with a cocktail, and yet y'all tell the world I was sitting down with the vice president having a meeting. It was a damn lie. and this is the evidence of it, and y'all had the audacity to put it up on a screen as if you were showing something other than the DA was having a cocktail on the lawn. I have never even had the honor of meeting Vice President Kamala Harris. Never.
How would you define block billing?
Good you didn't meet Kamala Harris, god damn it. Shit, that's good. Still don't erase the fact that your ass was cheating at work or doing what you did at work that got your ass sitting in front of this damn committee.
Like somebody who didn't know what the hell they were talking about.
I refer you to the screen. These
I
are
don't review those documents, so you're asking me to look at documents that I haven't for the first time. What I can tell you is that I
I'll give
only
you time to
allowed
review the
Mr. Wade to bill 160 hours a week, and then Mr. Wade would be the first one in the office making sure that my staff arrived. He corrected their behavior. They thought that 8:30 meant 8:30. He taught them that 8:30 means 7:45. He got there before them. He left after him. He taught them how to do this case, and he was a leader to that team and a public servant. And for that, him like me has been threatened thousands of times. You want something to investigate as a legislature? Investigate how many times they've called me the N-word. Why don't you investigate that? Why don't you investigate them writing on my house? Why don't you investigate the fact that my house has been swatted? If you want something to do with your time that makes sense, and you can use all this in your campaign ad, you attacked Fonnie Willis. What if
Oh, she going crazy. She crashing out, y'all. She was crashing out on the ass right there. God damn, Fonnie Willis. Your ass was crashing out.
or nothing?
So I'm going to refer you to the screen. I know you said you don't approve.
I don't look at this.
review
I've never
these
seen it,
bills.
so I can't talk to you about documents I don't approve and don't review. Can't talk to you about it.
Who does approve the documents in your office when invoices come in?
I thought we'd been through this.
I don't believe you
Sound
said
like a
who
love
reviews the
story.
invoices and approves the invoices in your
First
office.
of all, I have no firsthand knowledge of it.
You have no
You
firsthand
want me to
knowledge. of-
testify about something I don't have any firsthand knowledge of?
I'm asking-
Are you asking me to speculate? Because I've clearly told you I don't have any firsthand knowledge of it, and I'm not going to speculate.
The question is, when an invoice comes into your office from a special assistant district attorney, what is the review process for that invoice before it's paid?
She's answered this. She said she has a deputy of operations. He reviews or she reviews, and then it goes through the county. So it's a repetitive question.
What's the name of the deputy of operations?
The question has been asked and answered, and I believe it goes straight to
Come
the county,
on,
so I'm
man.
not sure. Dexter Bond.
Okay. Do you know who ATG may be, initials within your office?
I don't.
I would assume it's accurate to say it's probably not Dexter Bond.
I don't. It may be somebody at the county.
What we're looking at here are two bills that were paid by and approved by your department. The one on the left is from the
Homeboy
Cross
Con.
firm, which refers to Anna Cross that we referenced earlier. The one on the right is invoice number 11 from Nathan Wade. And the first thing that,
Let me tell you why this is such a
the
damn
first
joke.
thing that jumps out to me as a non-lawyer, but as someone who has paid lawyer bills,
She's trying to interrupt, trying to change the narrative. Listen to these bills, God damn it. Your ass spent this money on bullshit.
before, and I believe this gets to the question, the question which was around block billing. And here's my question for you, Madam DA. Are there rules in your contracts or otherwise when you hire independent contractors that gets to the billing methodology for your attorneys? In other words, are they allowed to always bill to the even hour, or is there a professional expectation that they would bill to the 10th? Or
Let me tell you
quarter-
something. I
quarter
had
hour?
3 attorneys working with me that had integrity. For you to insinuate that a judge that sat for 10 years and was the head of the magistrate court judges, that they did something illegal. They were underpaid. I have here documents where in one annual year, because I want you to remember his bills were over the course of 3 years. In one annual year made $8 million, made $5 million. And I'm going to make sure that the press has that so that when you're asking me about this great service to the state of Georgia, that it is understood that these are more than reasonable, actually bargain basement amounts. Ms. Cross would insist that I wrote government rate in her contract because she didn't want anyone to get confused that she would actually work for this rate, but for the fact that it was service to her community. So I don't know what we're talking about here, but to insinuate these 3 lawyers that have great integrity, have served this community well, did something unethical, I don't know why we're having this conversation.
I'm trying to.
I don't know anything about whatever you're talking about.
The state of Georgia allocates funding to your.
I'm quite sure you don't know what they're talking about. Crazy.
office.
They
And I-
hired those 25
and-
lawyers, yes.
And we are the questioning here is relative to the approval process of invoices that are paid by your office. You have testified that that is done by Dexter Bond, that you're unaware of who this ATG is that signed off on this. We'll move on to this further line of questioning here.
You know, old men have to go to the bathroom about every hour.
Governor, would you like a 5-minute recess? We'll take a 5-minute recess.
All right. Are you done questioning her ass? Because them other dudes ain't said shit. Guess that was his time for the line of questioning. Yeah. I guess they gonna come back questioning her ass some more. Man. Man, how y'all doing to this morning? What time is it? It's late. Oh well, we up. Man, what city y'all from or what state y'all from in the chat, man? Let me see. I know it's gonna be people from everywhere. New Jersey, Nevada. I'm in Compton, y'all, so y'all new up in here, man. Cali, Wisconsin, the IE. I used to put home. Washington State. Uh-oh. Georgia. Florida. Yeah, man. Washington State. Georgia. Wow. Yeah. Let's see here. Damn, it's 5:30 in the morning in Connecticut. If I go to sleep now, I'll wake up at 5:30 something in the morning.
Also, I have referred
Yeah, a couple
several
of-
times.
Couple of hours of sleep. I'm cool. I ain't got to go to work today. It's Sunday. My daughter out here, she on Christmas break. She goes to Southern University.
What I meant to
Hold
speak
on.
is $160 a month.
She goes to Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, HBCU college. All this stuff going on in these colleges, I tell her, don't be in nobody damn protest. Stay in your classroom and do your damn work. Cause everybody that's protesting from them damn colleges, it's gonna be hard for them to get a job. Shit, they face on camera tearing up shit and acting stupid. So I tell my daughter, it's her first year. I told her I bet not see no party pictures at least this first year. Ain't got time to party. You got to get acclimated to a university. So, but yeah, that's what I got. She home. I gotta go spend some time with her. And everything else. I'm trying to do some other stuff. But anyway, back to Fannie or Fonnie or Funny, whatever you want to call her name, Willis. Back to Fonnie Willis. They back on.
Also, I have referred several times to the rates of the AG. I would like you to know that in 2020, the Attorney General of this state paid $52,000 in attorney's fees. I've done initial $52 million in attorney's fees with the top recipient in the year, initial AF. I've taken
Come on with the feed, man. What's going on with this?
52,000 in attorney's fees. I've done initial 52 million in attorney's fees with the top recipient in that year, initials AF. I've taken off their name at 3,593,000. That was for 2020. In 2021, again, in excess of 52 million, with the top one in that year being AD as the initials, 2,673,000. I should note the great Josh
shit loud.
Belafonte was one of the recipients that year.
shit loud.
He made
All right, yelling in
1.3
the mic.
million in 2021.
She yelling in the damn mic. Getting her freestyle on right now.
In 2022, the AG's office spent on special prosecutors $55 million. DS being the top recipient for that year,
I think we're outside
$2
the-
million,
Yeah.
200,000. Josh Belafonte made $911,000. In 2023, the AG's office spent $65
Why are you-
million
Outside the
with
scope.
the top recipient.
Why are you yelling? You ain't got a damn. The man up there questioning you is calm as hell. Man, her ass got to yell. You know you lying when you got to yell your point across. In most situations.
$5 million initials MR, and I'm going to finish. And 2020 was MR, and they made $4.6 million.
fucked the sound
and
up.
then let's not leave off 2020.
All right, we're going to move on to the next question here.
By
Oh,
the
they cut her
AG
mic
special
off.
prosecutors, with the top recipient MR making $8,181,421,000. And y'all are
She crashing out again, y'all. They had to mute her mic, but she yelling out. You can hear her and everybody else's mic. Damn. They must have got up under her skin. Like Nathan Wade did, got up in them skins.
talking to me about pennies.
All right,
And I have
we
a
are-
copy for the press 50 if you like them.
And I'd like this included in the record.
All right, we're going to move on to our next question here.
And it is relevant since you're questioning the rate of special process.
That's for the press.
All right, I want to draw your attention to the
Calm
screen.
down, Fanny. Goddamn. No, you fucked up. Shit. Why you get mad at them questioning
Matt,
your
have you seen
fuck
this
up?
letter before?
Got my signature on it.
So you have seen this letter before?
Yes, that's how it got signed.
You sent this letter on December 17th, 2021, requesting access to documents to the from the January 6th committee, Chairman Mr. Representative Thompson. Is that correct?
I did.
Okay. Did you or anyone in your office receive help in your investigation from the January 6th commission?
Do you want me?
What do you mean by help?
Did they send you documents?
Well, they're public documents now.
Did they send you any documents that were not public? That were not public at the time? 'Cause
None that I
believe
can
the report's
recall.
been
None that I
released.
can recall.
In the letter, you offer to meet them in person. Did they take you up on the offer to meet in person?
I've never met Thompson.
Have you ever met anyone that was doing work with the January 6th commission?
Not to my knowledge. I may have met them and not known they were doing that work.
Mr. Wade
God,
traveled
why
to
you saying
D.C.
so
with,
goddamn
with
fast?
members of your staff. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And Mr. Wade billed for conference calls with the January 6th committee. Is that correct?
Haven't looked at the bills.
Every time they bring up Nathan Wade name, she don't recall. She haven't looked at something. Or she ride or die.
What difference does that make?
On the left side of the screen here, and I apologize, the camera's in your way. There's a screen over here.
You'll have to remember the criminals that I indicted, they had committed crimes all over the country. And so as a result, as a prosecutor, if you know that a criminal has done crimes in this state and other states, it would almost not be due diligence to try to get information from them. Here goes some more legislation you can take up. There is a process called TUI with the federal government where state prosecutors try to get information from federal prosecutors. They are not very helpful.
On this bill, on the left-hand side, the first red
I haven't
highlight.
seen the bill, so you remember?
That's why I'm showing it to you, Madam DA. It says team meeting conference with January 6th, research legal issues to prep and then it ends with V. He testified, and the testimony is on the right side of the screen that meant interview. And then the second one is travel out of state, interview and research, which was from April 27th until April 29th. Are you aware of a trip that Mr. Wade took out of state that your office paid for in April of 2022?
Yes.
What was the purpose of the trip?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I'm sure to get information on.
She getting her little witty on right now. I don't recall, but you know you paid for it though, right? Yeah, I paid for it. Where did he go? I don't recall. Boy, this lady right here is something else.
Some of the criminals I ended up indicting.
This slide here shows essentially a reimbursement request on the right-hand side for Mr. Wade at the Hyatt Place Hotel. And on the left-hand side, this is an invoice for the Hyatt Place Hotel during the time period I referenced earlier for Mr. Michael Hill. Do you know who Michael Hill is?
He was an assistant chief when he left my office. He's an investigator, though, a sworn law enforcement officer.
And he was on your staff during April of 2022? You said when he left your office. When did he leave the office?
I don't remember. But yes to the first question. He was on my staff at that time. I don't remember to the second question of when did he leave. Not long ago, he got a higher title at another office.
Do you know who else from your office attended this trip?
I can't recall. You can refresh my recollection if you like.
This is an invoice for the same hotel on the same dates from Mr. Francis. I assume it's Mr. Wakeford. Is that someone that worked in your staff?
An amazing attorney.
What was his role?
He's an attorney.
What did he do what work did he do within your department, your team?
He does all types of work, but he is what I would consider to be an appellate lawyer.
Did he do work on the elections interference case?
Absolutely.
What work did he do on the election interference case?
He did a lot of excellent writing.
So,
This slide here is for Mr. John Wooten. Same hotel, same dates, same trip to D.C. Do you know John Wooten
yeah.
He works for me.
currently?
Yes.
What was his role in April of 2022?
A lawyer, works for my office, does a lot of white collar crime for me.
Did work on the election interference case?
Yep.
Okay. So is it safe to assume from both the testimony I had on the screen, your letter, and Mr. Wade's invoices that reference January 6th, is it safe to assume that Mr. Wade and other members of your staff went to D.C. in furtherance of your investigation of the 2022 election? Or, sorry, 2020 election.
Yeah, y'all went to D.C. and tried to find
I'm
some
not
shit.
going to make assumptions under oath.
They went to D.C. to try to find some shit on Trump. How they explain this money right here, these rooms, wherever the fuck wherever that shit is on the screen. Hyatt in Washington, D.C. at the time all that shit was happening. They were trying to find out something. Explain that.
You were unaware of whether or not members of your staff, 4 of them that we have here so far, or 3 and 1 independent contractor, you're unaware as to whether or not the purpose of their D.C. trip was to meet with the
Southwest
January
Florida
6th
was
committee
up.
or members of the January 6th committee or lawyers working for the J6 committee.
I know that they went to D.C., and I know it was in reference to this investigation. I do not recall who they spoke with, but you all have tried to make this some nefarious thing that lawyers would try to investigate and find out information about people who came to Georgia and committed crimes. And instead of being honorable and trying to defend those people that you take an oath to serve, we're here with this foolishness.
Do you know how many trips Mr. Wade took to D.C.
In his life,
As it relates to the J6 committee or the 2020 elections interference case?
I believe one, but I don't know. It's speculation.
Well, it wouldn't be speculation if he had told you about it. Did he tell you about any other trips that he took?
But what you have to remember is it is whatever day it is in December of 2025.
Speculation must mean you know I'm lying. But it's just speculation.
And I'm an office that prosecutes 64,000 people. And I know you are somewhat offended that I had the audacity to prosecute, these folks that came into my county and committed crimes. But this wasn't special to me. This was another day of business.
On the screen is another invoice from Mr. Wade. The highlighted section, I'll just read it out loud, says January 6th meeting and ATTY Conf. That's from November 16th of 2022.
Damn.
And then there is a second entry immediately below that, interview at DC/White House, November 18, 2022. Have you seen this bill?
No.
Are you aware of phone calls or conferences that Mr. Wade either attended or was a part in that relates to the J6 committee or the election interference case working with the J6 committee that is separate from the April trip that we just discussed?
We didn't do much work with a J6 committee. So I've never seen this bill before. And I believe the only thing that we called the White House about was, did we have to go through the TUI process with that White House like we have to do with the Department of Justice? That's my recollection. That could be right or wrong, but we were trying to speak to people in the Trump administration, the first one. So I don't believe we had a lot of contact
Why you gotta say Trump like that? Like Trump, I mean, you trying to blame it on him now? Damn, they always trying to blame everything on Donald Trump. That's crazy.
with the White House. So I'm not aware.
You said you were trying to speak with people that are part of the first Trump administration in these travels to D.C., or are you just saying that more generally?
More generally.
Okay. And just to clarify, I want to make sure that I have the record correct here. You're unaware of who Mr. Wade.
I can't
And the
recall
others
those
met
levels of
with.
details. I know you want to take me back to 1948, where an African American prosecutor can only prosecute certain types of people, but I prosecute and stand up for all victims that come into my circuit.
When was the special purpose grand jury impaneled?
I don't remember the date, but that's an interesting point. 2 grand juries said these people did these crimes.
The date that I have
And the
is
grand jury was made up of independents, Democrats, Republicans.
the date that I have is January 24th of 2022. Does that seem like it's within the range of being the correct
So
date?
I already stated I don't trust you. I understand you're trying to run for lieutenant governor right now. Anything you want me to testify to, I'm going to need to see.
Okay. Were you aware that in between the time of the special grand jury being sworn in and receiving evidence, Mr. Wade traveled to Athens, Georgia to meet with officials from the White House counsel's office?
I don't recall.
On the right-hand side here is the meeting
her
that I
ass in
referenced.
trouble.
Highlighted section reads, travel to Athens, conf with White
How
House.
does this assist you in developing laws for Georgia? Because I believe the purpose that I'm here for is because you all need assistance in doing your job, and you want assistance with rules and regulations around how people should be a prosecutor. And it made sense to me that you'd come to the best prosecutor in the state to ask for some advice. But I'm confused as to how this assists you and what the purpose of me being here is.
The committee has a broad purpose. I'd be happy to refer to council.
They
as the
trying to
overall
figure out how
purpose of the
much-
committee, but my question
They trying to figure out how much money your ass was spending on your damn date. How much money was you spending on your lover? Shit, she need to put it in her mind that that's why she in there. She shouldn't have never did what she did. And her dumb ass wouldn't be getting questioned. That's like me at my damn job. I wouldn't do none of that shit. But she did it, her ass in trouble, and she trying to talk her way out of whatever is gonna happen. She never did what she did.
for you is, as it relates
I don't
to
think it's
travel.
relevant, so I'm objecting on relevance.
She's asked and answered that. She's told you that the TUI process goes through the White House counsel's office. she's asking. It's been asked and answered.
And it's your testimony today that the travel to Athens conference with the White House counsel, as far as you were aware, was due to a part of this TUI process that the governor's referencing.
I've testified. I don't recall anything about this,
Okay.
and I don't see how it's relevant to what your alleged purpose is. Now, your real purpose is to try to get elected, which I would say, Georgia, please, let's elect any lieutenant governor but this one.
Fucked up at Fonnie Willis.
We'll get to your work trying to elect lieutenant governors in a second, Madam DA, but for now, we're talking about the
I've done the
travel
work with
to
an
At least he know how to stay calm when somebody talking bad about him. Then her ass get mad.
elected governor, but if I will do some work with this, I see that Counselor left you alone today,
I'm not,
and he is running to be Attorney General of this state,
Madam DA, we're
and
gonna
he is
answer the
not
question.
qualified to be such. By record, by this document where he put up a false document trying to prove that I met with the vice president, that shows you he does not have ethics. But there is somebody running for Attorney General that has been a state prosecutor, a federal prosecutor, a civil rights attorney, and a state's legislature. So if people want to vote for people that are ethical and actually have the experience to do the job, I'd say go donate now to Tanya Miller.
That wasn't a question or the answer, Fonnie Willis. She's trying to talk her way up out of that, boy. Damn.
Madam DA, I've asked you about Mr. Wade. Did you speak with anyone that had worked with the January 6th committee or was a lawyer for the J6 committee?
That's been asked and answered. She said she'd never done it herself. That's what she testified.
Did you communicate with members of the J6 committee through any intermediaries that relayed messages back and forth on your behalf?
I don't recall ever speaking to any one of the January 6th committee. What you asked me, though, is have I ever met someone? I am a public official. I meet people all over this country all the time. Shake hands, take pictures, kiss babies, all the things elected officials do. So I have no idea if I've ever met someone that may have been part of the January 6th committee.
And I want, what is J6? Is that where they stormed the Capitol?
And killed a police officer?
Killed the police officer?
Shut up.
Is that the same committee we're talking about? So that it's clear on the record.
The ones that have been exonerated, we say that we stand with law enforcement, but don't care when police officers get killed.
We're going to continue on to the next question. Governor, you are here to advise your counsel. You're not here to pontificate. Absolutely.
Absolutely irrelevant, everything you're trying to say.
How does this help you for loss? Yes, I'm sorry, Judge. I'm sorry, Governor.
If you've got something to ask it, but don't go into.
Her ass crashing out again.
Conspiracy here when they went up and looked into the folks that broke into the Capitol in shamu suits or whatever that was, and put the Vice President of the United States out saying, hang Mike Pence, and that they were prosecuted and then pardoned by President Trump, and you're trying to say and infer that it was illegal, immoral to investigate that it was part of a pending case. So
We're asking questions relative to the investigation, Governor. We're going to move on to the next question.
what you're
Yeah,
doing
move
is
on.
to infer some wrongdoing where none exists. Ask the question, let's move on.
Thank you for
Also to
thank you,
divide this
Governor. We're
country,
gonna-
and it should be noted that there
we're
were
gonna move on to the
many
next
great,
question.
honorable Republicans that brought this case to me because they knew what happened was wrong. One of them is Duncan, who's now running for governor.
So you have your endorsement.
I didn't endorse him.
Wait just a minute, don't answer that question.
So
But I do think it should be noted that although you are trying to divide this country, that this country is not divided. Most people in this country are trying to do the right thing every day as they get up for work. Most people know when someone is murdered and victimized, you don't act as a depraved human being and tease them and their family in their greatest time of loss. Most people.
So I want to talk about a little bit of a timeline as it relates to D.C. And just a layout of fact pattern here, and then I'll ask you a couple questions. On November 9th, then President Biden stated and was asked about President Trump returning to office, And he stated that we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power. If he does run, making sure he, under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again. Are you familiar with that quotation from the president?
It has nothing to do with this inquiry. If you want to subpoena President Biden, subpoena him down here. I'll come. I might even represent him. He's got a seat. I hope he's got something left. We didn't mind a thing.
So
Mayor 2931 said wasn't saying nothing when Pam Bondi was talking reckless to that committee. Well, that was two different situations. Fannie Willis ass in trouble with doing what the hell she was doing at the job. Pam Bondi shouldn't be in church. They was trying to see if she was unqualified and putting her through all that. She ain't do nothing that Fannie Willis did. Yeah. And somebody in the chat talking about they wasting taxpayers' money on this little court case. Shit, I'd rather waste money for that instead of wasting money and getting billions of dollars stole from goddamn Somalians. That shit all over the United States. I seen a Somalian man today. When I walked by him, I had to grab for my wallet. I had to grab for my damn wallet and walk past me and, man,
What the hell?
snatching my goddamn wallet. They out here robbing the damn government. Yeah. Crazy.
a couple of days after this, President Trump did indeed announce that he was running for president. As you can see on the date there, November 15th, 2022. And then the very next day, and we've referenced this a second ago, but we're going to go back to it.
This helps you develop legislation how?
The very next day, there was a conversation between Mr. Wade. I'm sorry, there was an 8-hour, was described here as an interview with DC and the White House.
Interview with who?
It reads interview DC/White House. It's on the screen.
Ask and answer. They said that they had.
And I'm laying a foundation here, Governor. On November 18th, the very same day as this 8-hour phone call with the White House, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed Special Counsel Jack Smith. And around that same period of time, some news reports say the same day, but we know within 2 weeks of that time, Matthew Colangelo, who is the former third highest ranking official at DOJ, tendered his resignation to take a position in the Manhattan prosecutor's office, which would go on to also indict President Trump.
He committed crimes in a lot of places.
And convicted by the jury of his peers.
Shut up, bitch ass nigga.
And you know, you all want to, no,
on
this is very important.
November 8th.
You all want to intimidate people from doing the right thing. And you think that you're going to intimidate me. You all have been trying to intimidate me for 5 years, which is why I have not been able to live in my house for 5 years, because the N-word has been written on my house. Thousands of threats have come to my office, and instead of doing some legislation,
Madam
when
Chair,
someone,
we just-
when someone says something
before the
inflammatory that you know is going to cause them to be the victims of crime, you ought to do something about it. But you see, I'm not Marjorie Taylor Greene. I ain't gonna quit in a month because somebody threatened me. I took an oath to do the.
Whoa, she called out Marjorie Taylor Greene. Uh-oh. Starting to get crazy like a soap opera. But still, I don't understand why Fannie Willis getting panties all up in a bunch. You shouldn't have never did what you did. You was in lust. And you couldn't use your own money. Y'all couldn't use your own money to take lavish trips and stuff. And y'all already making however $280,000 a goddamn year. Yeah, the hell. You shouldn't have never did what you did. You can yell at them all you want. You the one out here looking bad.
The right thing. People came into my community and committed a crime, and I indicted them. And rest assured, if someone else comes in my community and commits a crime, I will indict them again.
Special Purpose Grand Jury released its report just under a month after this time frame on December 15th of
And said
2022.
39 people should be indicted, but in my discretion and looking at the evidence that was the most damning, I chose to only present an indictment to the grand jury of 19. And who knew? The citizens of Fulton County, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, non-politicals, all said these 19 people deserve to be indicted, and they were.
The question was, the Special Purpose Grand Jury released its report just under a month after this phone call between Mr. Wade and the White House, just a month after, on the very same day, Jack Smith was appointed by Merrick Garland, and just a month after the third-ranking member of the Department of Justice left the Department of Justice to go work for Alvin Bragg, that date being December 15th, 2022. Is that the date that the Special Purpose Grand Jury released its report?
I don't recall.
And let me tell you,
Boy, she done said I don't recall about 12 times already.
You don't recall? Does that?
she said she did not recall. And to try to, everybody's a crook in your mouth. Jack Spencer.
Well, there were some crooks.
Well, I know.
They were on the indictment.
So you reference your prosecutorial discretion and bringing these charges. I believe you say 50. You were talking kind of fast there. Was it 50 that you
I
said?
said that the grand jury recommended that 19 people be indicted. It's there. It's part of public record. What I did was look at all of the evidence against each of those persons, and I chose to only put forth an indictment that talked about the 19 most culpable. Those 19 were presented to a grand jury.
I just want to
That
clarify. You
grand
said
jury,
twice. I just want to clarify your testimony.
19 people were indicted.
Originally, how many were recommended? You said 19 for both.
39
Okay.
were recommended, 19 were presented.
How many of the electors? There were 16 electors here in the Capitol that cast votes for President Trump. Is that correct?
I object to that. They were not electors.
There were six.
Talking about the fake electors that y'all sat in a hearing and listened to, many of y'all.
In the same room.
I was not in the room. But I'm referencing there were 16 electors who took part in that meeting. Is that your understanding?
Why are you
$1 said that Klan had his shit. Hey, it is the shit, man. That's shit. Man, you're looking out. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It is the shit.
not offended that people came before you and lied?
Were there 16? Were there 16?
I don't
electors?
remember. I don't remember.
Okay. How many did you indict?
What does this have to do with you developing legislation? Because this is not relevant. So I'm going to object relevance.
Where are we going? I thought this was supposed to be,
I thought y'all needed some help.
it was supposed to be about rules of conduct. And so now you're getting into where the electors met here and they weren't.
That's crazy how words can trigger somebody's emotions. Especially when you're reading the words. It just triggers a lot of people's emotions. Like, man. Sticks and stones will break your bones, but words should never hurt you. So, hey, take some advice from Mr. Zach.
Really electors? And how many of them got indicted and why did you do that?
We're here for far more. We're here for far more than rules of conduct.
On why she chose to do so. It was presented to two grand juries. They returned an indictment on one because an investigative grand jury cannot indict, it can only investigate. And so, how is this to do with the conduct and legislation? I'm amazed that everybody's fixated that the election was fixed 5 years ago.
We'll come back to this. We'll move on for a second.
Let's move on.
We don't give a damn if the election was 5 years ago. God damn it. That's when y'all commit. That's when she did what she did. Shit. The goddamn whatever the hell they talking about. She shouldn't have never did what she did at work. Point blank. Period. Wouldn't even be having to spend taxpayers' money while however this shit is getting funded. She shouldn't have did what she did. Her ass crazy.
Oh, he needs some milk.
That's what she needs. She want to milk that dude. She want to milk it.
Good bit, well, maybe a half hour.
Well, we'll see what you think of this next slide question, Governor. In January of 2021, you referenced his name earlier, but you hired Jeff DeSantis to be the Deputy District Attorney overseeing the Media Relations Unit of the District Attorney's Office. Is that correct?
And strategy.
Media Relations and Strategy. What's the, can you describe the difference between those two separate roles? Or you just,
Well, y'all trolling. Y'all are trolling. Woo! Get your troll on. I ain't even tripping. Like I say, this hat don't mean goddamn thing to me. I don't know, my motherfuckers like, ooh, hat, that hat. It don't mean don't mean nothing to me. I wear it to make y'all motherfuckers mad. That hat brings out the weirdos, you know what I'm saying? They be in the chats.
I think that's the title.
That's the title.
It's the title. Okay. Was he serving in your office in April of 2021?
Yes.
He's classified though as an ADA for personnel purposes.
He is a lawyer. He
Yes, he
went to
works.
Emory Law School. Was there 2 years ahead of me and graduated. He's my elder.
Not hard for me.
Yeah, that's a good one. Wrinkle Brian said it means you're not on the plantation. Damn right I ain't on no damn plantation. You know you damn right. Yeah, not me. Now you making me, I'm gonna wear this hat in public now. This is my first time ever wearing this damn hat. I wanted to see what people was gonna say. But when you put it like that, this mean I ain't on the damn plantation. Man, that's a good slogan right there. Better patent that. Trademark that. I'm gonna trademark that. Man, not on the slave pen. Not part of that. Man, that's good.
When you're referencing media relations, how would you describe the overall role of media relations?
I don't read about media relations in any of these resolutions. It's beyond the scope.
Well, it's always a comeback, boy. It's like when Trump do something, all the Democrats try to destroy everything that he's trying to do. That's how the chat says.
This is within the scope of the state's funding to that department.
Not
to
a
that.
question about who's the director of media relations.
I didn't ask I'm asking what the role of media relations is.
Neither is that. Don't answer. I instruct you not to answer.
Wow.
Completely irrelevant.
Your objection is relevance.
No, my objection is the reason she hired and the reason.
I'm old. What is a glizzy? What is that? Is that a weapon or something? I'm old school. I don't know what that word means.
That she has hires and fires employees, and the reason that she undertakes to run her office is a matter of employees, which is exempt.
Oh, that's what it is. A hot dog, man. How is that offensive to anybody? Shit, motherfuckers eat chili dogs, don't y'all? Shit. I'm from L.A. Compton area. Shit, we make chili cheese dogs. Go to Louis Burger Joint if y'all know anything about that. Shit, ain't nothing wrong with that shit. They got a place out here called Dirt Dog. Man, people be in that motherfucker everywhere. Be everybody in there. It ain't just women, motherfucking whatever. There's everybody in there. Everybody eat hot dogs. That shit don't mean shit. Talking about glizzies and this and bullshit. That's stupid. Whoever said that in the comments talking about Yeah, championship glizzy, eating glizzies or something like that. These sound stupid. Nah, I'm looking at it as a common sense angle. Y'all looking at it, y'all. Wait a minute.
Why are you gay? Why are you gay? Why are you gay?
Yeah, why are you gay? Come on, man. Grown man shit over here. Yeah.
And it's privilege. And it's a deliberative process.
So you are asserting that the role of a media relations director is privileged.
You can move on.
You want clarity on that, Counselor?
So you're instructing the witness
I'm
not
gonna-
to answer on the
I'm
ground of relevance?
instructing.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just trying to understand.
Oh,
what
somebody
the
else finally
objection-
talking. Yeah, somebody else finally talking. Old boy in the middle done. Shit, his ass was talking the whole time. Shit. Somebody else gonna get to question her cheating ass or whatever the hell she was doing at work. Spending taxpayers' money on lavish trips to get her a glizzy. That's what she was doing, right? If I'm saying it the young way, she was getting a glizzy. Yeah, she was spending taxpayers' money to get that glizzy. God damn it.
Here's the court before you.
It would help if you, Governor, respectfully, it would help if the objections could be limited to like 5 to 10 seconds. I mean, I don't need a speaking objection.
I talk slow.
I'll give you 30 seconds, but it's counted by words, Governor.
I'm a country lawyer, and it's real hard for me to get something. It is beyond the scope of the resolution, number
Okay.
one.
All right, can we break and address that?
I'm gonna say my objection.
He said marry glizzies
That's fine,
at
we'll do it
that.
all together. I'm just trying to understand.
Then
I'm not
Melania
trying to
did something to
he's
some
looking for
glizzy to
clarity
get
on
her
your objection,
citizenship.
Okay.
Irrelevant. And the decisions she makes on personnel are not subject to inquiry.
All right, on the beyond the scope. Oh, I can do that, I guess. Is that me?
It's on.
Discombobulated, man. You can't be Look, bro, you can't be discombobulated up there. You say something wrong to Fannie Willis, she gonna jump on your ass. And no diddy. She gonna jump on it and be on that motherfucker. Question the hell out of you. You supposed to be questioning her. She gonna be questioning you. Get your shit together, man.
You hear him?
I know I'm not going to convince you, but I just want to give you the chance. I certainly know I'm not going to convince you, Madam DA. Whereas this is lines 26 to 30 of Senate Resolution 5. Whereas many have concluded that the conduct of District Attorney Willis has brought her and her office into disrepute. My office has brought myself into respect. I'm sorry.
Shut your ass up, bitch.
And so that is.
I'm not.
That's what he.
Okay, go ahead.
Undermine.
That's what he should have said. As soon as she outburst, shut your ass up, bitch. I'm talking. That's what he should have said. But, you know, somebody got to put her ass in check. Not to call women bitches. I'm just saying that's what he should have said. All right? So don't get it twisted.
Public confidence in the fair, impartial, and
The public voted me again by 68% respect.
Madam DA, I don't think that it's, well, you continued. I mean, I've got my second fundraiser email from you while we're sitting here.
Did you donate?
Partial, I did early on when you ran against Paul Howard, and you know that.
You selected the best DA in the country.
The best
just
at
here's a lawyer,
getting
man.
glizzies.
Fair and impartial, disinterested administration of justice by prosecutors across our state and cast significant doubt as to the purpose and validity of the charges of her office has brought in regard to the 2020
Jasmine Crockett gonna be next sitting up here in front of these committees, not these lame dudes up here at the front. You're gonna be sitting in front of somebody getting questioned like a motherfucker. And we're gonna see how ghetto her dumb ass is then. I'm talking about Jasmine Crockett. Man.
presidential election. Further, when you get to the language, the actionable language under powers and duties of the committee is hereby reauthorized to undertake legislative investigation into the issues mentioned above or related thereto. So I would submit it's broad. I presume that doesn't change your position, but I just, okay. You say that it is irrelevant. You mentioned at the start of this that you were going to be able to object to privilege. Is it your position that relevance is a privilege that you're asserting?
It's more than just privilege. It is also that it's beyond the scope. And what you've read me there is just confirmed that it's beyond the scope.
Or related thereto when it speaks
Or
to,
related thereto refers to the 2020 election.
correct. And both you and Madam DA have said that her decision to bring the case and how it was brought and who was brought against, the exact things the Court of Appeals talked about, those initial pretrial decisions, caused people to question and the fairness and of justice. And so if that is what the courts have said, not me, I'm not here to say one way or the
Yeah,
other.
get right. The
But
court,
if that's
this is
what the
what the
courts have
court's
said,
saying.
and that is in the language of the Senate resolution, your position is that it is limited to what?
It certainly does not encompass who the press secretary is and the DA's.
Okay, but the question that was on the floor was, what is the role of a
What
media
his-
relations
what
person?
his role would be.
Fine.
Has that got anything to do?
I think the question was, and if you need, I'm sure it could be asked this way, is what is the
You don't have to be here, man. Or whoever that is, you don't have to be here. Hey, you can think what you want, but this is what I think about you.
Why are you gay?
role of the person? And so to that question, which does not include any individual, but what is the role of the office? The objection is scope and privilege, or scope and relevance?
Correct.
And
And also,
And since you mentioned fundraising, I'd like to make sure that this is part of the record. Counselor believing he's going to go after Fonnie Willis and asking to donate at the last period. I also have 50 of these for the press because this is about folks sitting here trying to get elected.
we have anything else?
We do have a lot more.
If you doing so good, then why you worrying about them trying to get elected? You shouldn't have never did what you did, and your job wouldn't be in jeopardy. Or you trying to block somebody from moving up in the ranks? That's what you doing. You gatekeeping, bitch.
Governor, we'll take a lunch break just so you all are aware if you want to make arrangements at 12:30.
I'd like to go straight through.
We'll take a lunch break at 12:30. Madam DA, relative to your full-time employed staff, such as Mr. DeSantis, what rules, if any, exist relative to other work that they can do, either contract work or employment work, outside of your office?
If it's an investigator and they're working a job, off-duty job, extra job, as most police officers do, the chief of investigations has to sign off on approving them for that work site, as well as the district attorney. So that is to the law enforcement that report to me because, you know, I have a police department there. And so they have to get it signed off on that it's appropriate work. I don't like my investigators working at nightclubs, but they can certainly work at a store. Or they like to work at State Farm Arena and things of that nature. If it's a professional that's not an investigator and not a lawyer, they're pretty much able to do whatever. Of course, they can't do it on my hours, but they can work whatever. And if it's a lawyer, prosecutors are not able to practice law doing that. If, you know, they were selling pies at Christmas, I probably don't care.
Somewhere in between practicing law and selling pies, are there any restrictions besides that?
None that come to mind.
Okay. Are you aware of a entity called Critical Mention?
I am. I'm aware that you all use it.
What can you tell me about Critical Mention?
Critical mention kind of tells you when your office or an issue that concerns your community comes into the news space. It has been used as a device by my office to find witnesses. It's been used as a device to determine if there's a pressing issue among my constituents that they are concerned about. But it is basically an outlet that lets you know what's going on in your community. It's helped us find witness victims and, like I said, been used for security.
Help me understand how it helps you find victims or find out what's happening in the community. What's the
You would be surprised because people will complain about some issue. You won't know anything about it. Somebody got robbed. It brings cases to your attention because, you know, I'm not a small prosecutor's office. I'm a huge prosecutor's office. And so it brings things to your attention. I can't give you more than that.
Are you aware of any other uses that your office uses critical mention for?
I don't know all the uses. I gave you some.
Okay. You sent a letter to Governor Kemp, Secretary of State Raffensperger, and Attorney General Carr. I believe it was essentially a records retention notice in early 2021. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
I didn't want anyone destroying evidence. Not that they would do so intentionally, but I didn't want them to do it unintentionally.
So on the screen is a report from Critical Mention that we referenced.
How many times she gonna play with that damn mic? She like every time her ass fidgety. She trying to think of some shit.
Earlier. This report was in an email from Mr. DeSantis to you and someone who worked for you at the time. And this came the week after the time that the letter was sent.
Which letter?
The letter I just referenced to the governor, the AG, and the secretary. Mr. DeSantis's email states that the analytics graph is attached as PDF. The previous one I sent was for, quote, Fulton County District Attorney. This one is for, quote, Fani Willis. We're getting more coverage via your name than by title. This graph has the coverage value for the last week at over $150 million. That's obviously high, but even adjusting downward, it's still a huge number. And then what's highlighted in red here is part of the critical mention report that mentions mentions, which I'm going to just assume how often the search,
I
which
go
I
to
think
bed. I'm sitting here looking at the damn video y'all looking at. It look like I'm looking down. 'Cause I got to look down at the thing. That's where my setup is. So go to sleep, man. Up for about another 30 minutes.
your first and last name. What the audience was, which was approximately 6.3 million people, and then publicity value, which I think is what Mr. DeSantis is referencing when he references coverage value at $150 million. Do you recall seeing this report?
I don't.
Right, the truth. That's what she doing for real.
Do you recall critical mention being used at all within your office to track the value of media as it related to the coverage of the election interference case?
I told you she doesn't.
She told me she doesn't recognize this chart. I'm asking generally if she, this report, I'm asking if you've seen any report.
I don't know that I've seen any report, but I've definitely heard Mr. DeSantis say, you know, that these numbers are always inflated. So yes, I've heard of it before, but you're asking me about a particular report.
Have you seen this page from a PowerPoint document before?
I've seen it. I don't recall it.
Okay, this was also sent by Mr. DeSantis to your email. And here this captures a broader range of time. The first one, I believe, is for just a couple of weeks. This captures essentially the first 11 months of 2021, at which point in time those audience impressions had grown from the previous number of 6 million, if I recall correctly. The publicity value on the last one that we looked at was $150 million. This one is $637 million. Do you recall seeing any other report that was tracking the publicity value of your name, your work, or your prosecutions?
I can never recall seeing a report. Does not mean I have not seen one. I do not recall seeing a report. But so that we're clear,
said recall
I've
about
heard
20
Mr.
times now.
DeSantis mention things that are along what you're talking about.
This is an email from Mr. DeSantis, dated around the same time frame as the first report, February 17th, and he's referencing now just the first search that he did, which was for Fulton County District Attorney. He lays out that name received $67 million, which he already said was more than your name. And he concludes his email by stating that even half of that value would be staggering.
Right. He doesn't believe the numbers. He thinks they're inflated. And that's kind of what I reference him
Sure.
talking, that he doesn't believe the numbers.
But he does believe that the value, or whatever value, what value means, that we would all need to interpret there, but that even at half of the value, he believes that would be staggering. As a
You're
pub-
asking me to speak on
no, I'm just stating what I'm reading in the context here.
how does this help?
Well, now I'm going to ask you, as a public
Help a
prosecutor,
lot, bitch.
why would media coverage and the earned media value, either for your title or your name, be relevant to your job as a prosecutor?
You'll have to ask somebody else because I don't know the answer to what someone else is thinking. I do know that it has been very important to me, and it continues to be very important to me, that we are very transparent with our public about what we're doing, and that the media, when they're doing their job, it is important that they tell the public what the work is that we're doing, and that they tell them what the services are that we provide them, and that we are always here for them. So that is an important value. The first time, I don't want my constituency to see me, and this is something I say all the time, first time they get to know the Fulton County District Attorney shouldn't be when I'm locking up their nephew. That's not when it should happen. The first time they should see us is when we are out in the community doing service projects, whether that is I am in the schools. I am the only district attorney in the country that all year long I am in the schools with our children, making sure that we see them in the classrooms and not the courtroom. So that is me touching my students and their parents. The first time they see me is when I'm giving away book bags. The first time they see me is when we're doing Christmas drives or Thanksgiving drives. The first time they see us is so that they know that they are coming to an office that is a judgment-free zone. And I think it's why, and I have this for the media too, I have a 92% conviction rate this year. I tried more cases than any prosecutor in the state. That's the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District. That's the AG's office. My office is doing this work. We are keeping the community safe. Because I know y'all won't believe me. I brought a report here from the Atlanta Police Foundation
all in
talking
the mic.
about how crime is down in our community. And it's not the district attorney's office alone. It is the district attorney's office combined with the law enforcement in this community. See, I care about the police. So I don't excuse that an officer got killed on January the 6th. To me, it's a problem.
The question was, as a public prosecutor, why would media coverage
the
be
question
relevant to your role?
was-
And
I answered it.
I don't know that you did, and I want to clarify, because I think what you answered was why public relations are important to your role, and people seeing you before they get locked up and all of that stuff you referenced, which I think is valid. My question is, there are multiple emails that are tracking in concurrency with your work in the election interference case.
With my concurrency in work, period. That's the work you're important, that you think is important. I've answered the question. It's asked and answered. We should move on.
The question that I'm
They
asking
not
you,
moving on.
it-
They not moving on, lady. You ain't answering the damn question. If you answer the damn question, they'll move on. They got it in black and white. They can see what the answer is. You just need to say it and move the fuck on. Shit. Damn. Lord.
He needs some milk.
Man, just move on.
It's not why are you doing public relations. I'm asking you, why are you tracking the dollar value of your name and your title?
She has told you she does not know the report. She has told you that she has heard it discussed, but she does not know the details. She has told you that it's important to get a message out. And if that's not been asked and answered, I don't know what.
Governor, I certainly understand that. I'm not asking about the outbound messaging. I'm asking about the inbound tracking of the dollar value. If you believe that we've covered that, we'll move on. This is the first payment for critical mention.
Right.
That's a yearly subscription of $10,000. You told me earlier you've never seen a payment voucher form from Fulton County, so I would assume you've never seen what's on the bottom right. Is that correct?
I don't think we should assume, but you'd actually be correct.
Okay. I'm assuming that your testimony was correct earlier, and I'm tying it together to right now. The second time that critical mention was used, and we talked earlier about funds and accounts. This check was used to pay critical mention for their 2022 contract. Have you seen this check before?
Have I seen the check?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Okay. What account is this from?
It was a Fulton County account. One of the accounts Paul left, so I can't answer you what account it's from. Whatever bank that's from, that's the account it's from.
Just to clarify, you're saying Paul, you were referencing former District Attorney Howard?
Yes,
Wells
that was-
Fargo,
you were
goddammit.
absolutely correct.
From Wells Fargo.
Former district attorney. I believe it's from one of those accounts, but that's actually speculation too. But I assume that's what it's from.
Do you know how your name got on an account that was formerly used by District Attorney Howard?
Absolutely. At the beginning of my tenure, I had to go and switch names from that DA to this DA.
And part of that changing of names was changing this bank account.
Correct.
Okay. What is the source of funds for this bank account? I know when we talked earlier, you referenced essentially you give everything over the county. You don't have your own credit card. You don't have your own accounts. I want to clarify what this account is.
It was accounts that Paul left. There were a couple of them. At the beginning of my term, we put our name on those accounts. Me and District Attorney Howard did not have a conversation. He went to the bank, then I went to the bank, and we used it for things for the office. We've been audited 50 million times, so it's in some audit. There's no DA that's been audited as much as me.
Do you know how much money was in that account when you?
I can't recall any of those facts.
So that word recalled
Do you know if you've
again.
allocated any additional funds in the time that you've been DA into this account?
I do not believe so. Brings me to an interesting point. We did not want to take in money, and I also wanted to have an office that was transparent. And so in my first 4 years, the only way that a district attorney would take in money would be from open records. Well, I had this great idea as the new DA. I wanted the records of Fulton County DA's office to be equally accessible to the indigent and the rich. Many people abused that, and so I had to change it in term 2. I mention this because I didn't take any money during the first time for open records, and so there's no other reason that a DA would take money in that I can think of. If there is one, I'll have to be educated on it.
As it relates to this, well, let me ask this question. You referenced there was 2 or 3 other accounts
There
that,
was a couple of accounts. We've been auditing all my audits. You know, once y'all started attacking me, they audited me every other week. There is no DA. I just passed a DOJ audit.
do you recognize the signature on this check?
It looks like DB, Dexter Bond,
Dexter Bond, just for clarity, is your,
Deputy of Operations. That's why he would see these kind of things and I would not.
do you know what the allowed or the restrictions around the allowed
you
uses
looking over
of
there
this
for?
account, of which
I can't
you
help you.
All money that we have has to be used for the betterment of my office.
and the only source of funds that you're aware of in this account it was money that was in the account when you signed it over from former district attorney.
That is correct.
Okay. Are you aware of anything else that has been paid for out of this
No.
account?
Let's make sure you understand me clearly so I don't. I'm sure other things have been paid for out of this. Your question was, am I aware of other things that have been paid? I can't recall that from 2021 or 22 or any other year.
What's the reason that this account will be used versus the voucher system with the county that I've had up on the screen a couple of times so far this morning?
They would make us. I go to them if this is what I need done for the office. I don't make selections on what account is used. I don't even know what all those accounts are. I can't tell you that this account is the account that you can buy books out of. This is the account that you can do this out of. But I know they have those kind of delineations with the county. But I don't get that you're in the weeds.
And it's your understanding that this account would have been something you referenced in audit. The state Senate's never done an audit.
Oh, I've been audited a million. The county has audited me. The federal government. I have been audited and audited and audited.
And is it your understanding that this account would have been captured in an audit?
Absolutely.
Okay. That was it, Josh.
I was asking you earlier about essentially what I'm just going to colloquially refer to as side work that is done by full-time staff within your office. And I believe that you told me essentially you're not micromanaging. There's no prohibition on side work. Is that correct?
Well, I told you specifically with my investigators, there is an absolute process. They cannot work as investigators or police officers because
Things.
that's why I won by 87%.
And there's a gentleman by the name of Mr. Chris Hutman. And Judge, Mr. Jones was a candidate for lieutenant governor. Is that correct?
It should be around 40 years old now. And
He's been working for your office. I'll clarify that.
Going back, y'all. Skip.
Deliberative. because we know it was part of an investigation, and he was indicted by or recommended by one and by a second one. But the reason he was indicted,
I'm not asking for the reason he was indicted. So I believe that we can agree on the grounds that Lieutenant. The question is the degree to which Madam DA was aware that Jeff DeSantis, while he was serving in the office, was the registered agent for a business named Charlie Bailey for Georgia.
okay,
You don't recall?
What's your question?
My question is, are you aware that while he was employed by your office, Mr. DeSantis was serving as a registered agent and secretary of an entity called Charlie Bailey for Georgia?
I don't think I knew that until now. But Charlie Bailey, who's now head of the Democratic Party, I consider a great personal friend.
I heard that he was maybe in the Capitol today. I've not had the opportunity to meet him yet.
former assistant prosecutor for Oak Run.
Are you aware of any work that Mr. DeSantis did on
Real
Mr.
job.
Bailey's campaign
Nope,
when he ran for lieutenant governor or for, I believe this was for attorney general?
I'm not aware.
Are you aware of general campaign work that Mr. DeSantis is involved in?
I don't know. Am I aware that he's ever been involved in campaigns?
While he's been working for your office, I'll clarify that.
But I do know that he's working for campaigns while employed for the office. But I certainly know that in a prior life that he did work on campaigns. He's like, you know, as we get older, we tell war stories.
The date on that, can't see.
Well, it varies, Governor. It was
It says 2/1/2018, which would have been long before I was there, but then it says last annual registration year 2022. So I'm not sure at what point Mr. DeSantis did this. I'm not sure it tells what it purports to tell, but it's on the screen.
Well, he's a registered agent. Anybody can be a registered agent. Not be.
well, the secretary as well is what I was asking about, which is the role of an officer. The officer information is noted there at the bottom. Did you say you were a supporter of Mr. Bailey when he ran for attorney general?
I said that Mr. Bailey was a friend. I think that was a cute little question you asked. But what I said was that he was a good friend. He used to be an assistant district attorney that reported to me when he was a younger lawyer. I was his supervisor. If you know Attorney Bailey, he's a white male, probably around 40 years old now. And I just adore him and his family.
So you don't recall if you supported him for attorney general?
I would support Mr. Bailey in anything he does. He has great integrity. Anything he wants to do, I'm here to support him.
So you did support him when he ran for attorney general? I'm trying to get to the core of the question here.
Investigate now because of this. If that's not beyond the scope.
We know that Mr. Bailey there was a finding of conflict in this case, specifically relative to Mr. Bailey. I'm sure that part of that may have been to the campaign contributions that were made on behalf of the DA to Mr. Bailey, which is now on the screen. There was a fundraiser, I believe, that was the acute conflict that the judge recognized, and so that's what we're getting into. This is directly applicable to this case.
I don't find it relevant. But he's a friend, and I gave him some money when he was running.
Used to
And I'm asking people to give Tanya Miller for Georgia some money so we can get a good attorney general in here. Not a corrupt one that puts false things on screens.
So Mr. Jones was a candidate for lieutenant governor, is that correct?
It should be noted at the time of that ruling, which I still find to be ridiculous. Mr. Bailey was not running against Mr. Jones. He was running against Kwanzaa, and I can't remember his name. It was a Democratic race. But the ruling was found. I take exception with many of that judge's actions. But, you know, I'll leave that for another day.
At the time of the fundraiser that you did, it was in a primary, and you knew that whoever
That's
was in the
a
primary
great
was-
point. It was a primary. It was not a general. He was not running against Burt Jones. That was a fabrication of facts. He was running against Kwanzaa Hall. His name just came to me. You get older and you
forget things, but he was running against Kwanzaa Hall, and I did a fundraiser for him. That is absolutely correct. And he need to give me some money back, $2,500. I need a contribution.
Mr. Jones moved to have you disqualified from the investigation based on your fundraiser. Is that correct?
Yep, and that's something else that I'd like y'all to take up as a legislative body. I think that when judges rule on things that are directly in the favor of legislatures, we should have a bar of when they can be appointed to the next bench, because I'm watching a lot of judges in my career do things in an effort to kind of say, pick me, get promoted. And I think that it would be some good legislation of this body and of the legislature to say that if a judge directly rules on something in the favor of any legislature, it should bar them from being promoted. That'd be some legislation, since y'all want some help with legislation.
And Judge McBurney granted the motion to Mr. Jones to have you disqualified. Is that correct?
Correct. And then surprise, surprise, Scandalakis has dismissed the case.
We're going to get to Scandalakis in just a second, but Judge McBurney said that it was, quote, a plain and actual and untenable conflict. Is that correct?
He did.
Okay. He described it, I believe, in oral commentary and stated that he regarded the optics were horrific, described it as a what were you thinking
The
moment.
left
and then
consultant
ultimately-
described McBurney as unethical. We're going to talk about, people pontificating. Is that what we're doing here?
I'm just laying, we're going through the
just
fact
telling you some
pattern
history.
of this case. And then, as you referenced, Mr. Peter Scandalakis, as head of PAC, continued the investigation after you were disqualified. He concluded the investigation did not further warrant further action after interviewing Mr. Jones 4 times and reading your entire file, among other things. Did you give your entire file?
Mr. Scandalakis has never read our entire file. When he just dismissed his case, there's no way that he read the entire file. There's no way that he reviewed all the evidence. It's no way that he interviewed witnesses. But as Counselor set up shitting and grinning in front of the media saying, oh, we know this case going to be dismissed. I bet you do.
Are you familiar with a company called Canal Media Partners?
It's my fundraiser. I think that's the name of my fundraisers. No. Canal Media Partners is who I pay to do filming or something. It's somebody I pay.
On the screen, we've got your 2024 summary from the State Ethics Commission page, and Canal Media Partners is listed as the second highest paid expenditure of your successful DA campaign.
They do great commercials. Use them.
To the tune of $527,000. It's my understanding from looking at their website that they do media buying, among other things.
That's why I won by 87%.
And there's a gentleman by the name of Mr. Chris Hutman who
Is brilliant.
does work for you. So you're familiar with Mr. Hutman.
He is brilliant.
What does Mr. Hutman do?
He buys media space. And if you're an elected official listening, you might want to hire him, because he is able to go and find you the best rates so that you can get the best media. So really the best bang for their buck. Don't mean this to be a commercial, but I did win by 87%. You might want to work with him.
His LinkedIn shows present work with or employment at. It doesn't clarify either, but it shows that he's been at Canal, which we've talked about for the last 13 years, and in a company called 2020 Insight LLC for the last 15 years. Are you familiar with a company called 2020 Insight?
It sounds familiar, but no. I might have paid him. I just don't remember.
Can't remember nothing.
According to 2020 Insight's current website, it is a partnership between, they don't say partnership here, but this states under their Who Are We, it lists Mr. Jeff DeSantis and Chris Hutman, Mr. DeSantis being the same one that serves in your office, and Mr. Hutman being the gentleman that we just talked about that you referenced.
I don't know that he currently still works with him, but we could have got to that question 3 questions ago. I know at one point they worked with each other.
The website for saying that Mr. DeSantis is there is current, but it's your testimony today that you don't know whether he does work with 2020 Insight before.
I don't know that he actually continues to work with them, but I certainly know that in the past that he worked with him.
Is it your understanding that Mr. DeSantis and Mr. Hutman were business partners?
I really don't know what their professional relationship was, so I don't want to speculate. I will tell you this: the governor talked about old men having to go to the bathroom. 54-year-old women do as well, so we don't have to get me to a bathroom break.
We'll take 5.
Thank you.
taking 5. That's it, y'all. Guess that's it, y'all. Man. Made it through this long ass live. It got boring in the end. But all I want to know is
Supreme Court has delivered a monumental victory for the
what the hell?
Constitution, the separation.
There it is, y'all. My bad. Let me do it again. Man, we made it through another one. Good Lord, like I said, it was getting boring, but the main question and the main thing about that whole situation is, Fanny, your ass is a dumb ass person. You shouldn't have never took taxpayer money and went on them lavish trips and bought you glizzies. Now they put me up on the word glizzy. She paid for the glizzies. She took a trip around the world with the glizzies, and her ass got caught. Shouldn't have never did what she did, and she should have never went after the president of the damn United States. She should never.
Powers and
She never should have did that. I wouldn't have. Man, you crazy? You never shouldn't have did this. Never shouldn't have went after that man right there on the screen above my head right there. She should never did that, and she should never been throwing rocks when she living in a glass house too. So shouldn't have did it. Anyway, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all hit that like button, man. Hit the thumbs up and all of that. And subscribe to the channel, man. Hit that notification bell. That's the only way. But right now, YouTube been tripping lately. They've been shadow banning the hell out of me. So y'all got to hit that notification bell too. But, man, I appreciate y'all. It's been another one, a long one. I ain't did one of these in a long time. Been live in a long time. I've been handling some other business. Got some other things going. Yeah, man. Gotta enjoy all the trolls that was in here. So all they know how to do is troll and be mad and let what they see, words, trigger their emotions. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. All right. Trolls. Shout out to the trolls. But man, yeah, they shadow banning the hell out of me because all my stuff is talking bad about people. Even my pre-recorded videos, I don't give a damn. But that's what they do. So that's what they do to me. Yep, but man, I'm up out of here, man.
Got him! Got him!
We out of here.